Hello, and welcome to the podcast that drinks and also knows things. I'm your host, Glenn of House Dog. Today's Drinks and Knows Things episode titled Enter Stann-Man. Recording date, what's the date today?
9/15.
9/15/2018. We are talking about Season 4, Episode 10, titled The Children. I'm here today with Ben, a.k.a. Sly of House McLean.
It's my party, and I'll drink if I want to.
Okay, so then we got Luke on of House Blackmead.
Okay, so that's us.
And special guest of the show, JonnieIndieBoots. What's up?
What up, what up? Top of the morning to you. Shout out to the children of the forest and every Zelda game that was made for how they look. Good to be here, yo.
The Cokery Forest.
I'll drink to that. So missing today, a first-time watcher on the wall, Abby, a.k.a. Gertie of House Condensation. She's
got an appointment with a hurricane.
Talking about
the condensation,
Yeah,
literally. So, she is unable to be with us today. I guess we'll wish her well. Hopefully get back on the wagon next time. So
wait, did you just say you guess? I guess we'll wish her well.
I guess we will.
I guess.
You know, she'll be fine.
Your health
She's
okay?
tough.
She'll figure it out. All right, friend of the show, shout out.
All right, we're going to give a shout out to Johnny B. Crazy. He's been doing some cool stuff. I know Ben's been jumping on some of his streams along with a few other of our close friends. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. Ben, you got anything else on that?
Yeah, John. Shout out. I'm going to lump in Mackenzie L. Burns with.
Well, there goes my one for next episode. Thanks.
Well, we'll give her a special one too. But the two of them have brought me on both their shows in the last couple of weeks and had a great time. They're way smarter than I am. And definitely know their stuff. Give them a view, subscribe, a like, everything, because they're awesome and put on a good show and try to have a good time.
All right, our show and all of our shows at thepodcastthat.com are produced with the love and support of our wonderful imaginary legion patrons. Learn more about our reward tiers at patreon.com/stayimaginary. All right, and moving on to news, current, Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire events. Today's story is a tweet sent by Ramin Dijawadi, and I guess one of you two put this on there, but basically it reads, "Honored to find out that I won an Emmy for Game of Thrones right before going on stage to perform Game of Thrones live in San Jose. Thank you for celebrating with me."
Yeah, that's basically the composer of the Game of Thrones music won an Emmy for sound and everything for the show just last week. So I thought it was pretty cool that he finally got recognized. It's been 8 or 7 seasons now, and he hasn't won, but finally got it.
Right. Has he been nominated, do you know?
I think he's nominated almost every year, but they just never
Finally crossed the goal line.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else to add?
No.
No?
Congratulations to him. A lot of good work. Yeah. I need a sound clip of clapping.
Clap.
I have amazing commentary for that. I think the music in Game of Thrones is really good.
Well said.
Well said.
Very clearly thought out. Well described.
It's in me notes. It's in me notes right here, yeah? It's a good answer, yeah? I'm doing well.
This guy does
can
his
I just
homework.
say, when you said Johnny, if you notice, watch on the rewatch, I'm like, I'm already here. And then you said be crazy. And I just played and you're like, yeah, that's Johnny.
All right, previous episode recap. Luke.
All right, so there was a big fucking fight at the wall.
There was.
Next. This is kind of it, but it took a while. That's my other note on it. And the Night's Watch wins the fight.
The fight, okay.
They won the fight.
The battle.
And Egret was killed by that fucking kid.
Goddamn kid.
Goddamn Safners.
All right.
Was I the only one happy with Ygritte getting dropped? She annoyed the shit out of me. I was happy with that. It's a good scene.
It was well done.
Somebody
Still
had to
not
go.
Happy about it.
Two people fighting. It's not like they're gonna. This one doesn't have a happy ending.
Right.
It could have.
It could have.
But, all right. Episode number, season 4 of episode 10. Episode duration 50 minutes. Date it aired June 15th, 2014. Director Alex Graves. Writer David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Episode description, Benji.
Season 4 finale. An unexpected arrival north of the wall changes circumstances. Dany faces some harsh realities. Tyrion sees the truth of his situation.
All right, moving on to Quill and Tankard pub trivia. Now, I think we discussed last time that if I have a question that stumps everyone, I get 2 points.
No, we didn't sign that. That's not how this works.
I think we signed off on that. No?
Was that after the Jameson came out? Because I do not remember that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, the Jameson. That's somewhere around here, I think.
No, don't say that. No, Bubba, the Jameson is gone. It is not still here. Don't ask.
Okay.
Stop looking at it, Benji.
You guys about ready?
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny, you ready?
Hang on, I'm just checking under me notes here. The music is really good. Yeah, I'm ready. No, money mess there. Go for it. I'm good.
All right, today's question is the scene whenever you got, Pycelle in his, workshop or whatever, with Qyburn and Cersei. They're looking at the mountain. The mountain has all these, lacerations on him and stuff like that. Pycelle is talking about, a certain venom that he was poisoned with. Where is that venom originated from?
Man, see, I'm so used to playing the online live games, I nearly screamed it out there. I was like, oh no, this is their little shit. I nearly went, you can see my head, and then I was like, no, shut up. Don't say a word.
I don't want to get this right and screw Glenn over on the point. I don't know if I am right, but I don't think I am.
Such confidence, man. It's beautiful.
All right. Ever got their answers? Thumbs up.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
All right, 1, 2, 3, hit enter. I don't know. So Luke says a manticore.
No,
No, I said a manticore.
You said a manticore. Luke says Death's Head Manticore Mantari in origin, which is
What's Johnny got to say?
Johnny. Do you have an answer?
You weren't supposed to really ask me. I just wanted, because I knew I didn't have to answer, I wanted to pretend like I knew what
okay.
it was. And now you just
So
called me
he knew
the
the
fuck
whole
out.
time.
Honestly, I know it's way over in the east, the manticore venom, because obviously Oberyn studied the shit out of it, hence his blade being covered with it. I can't pick the exact city, but if I had to guess, I'd... I'm just going to say over east to be safe, so I'm not wrong.
Over east, and that was the answer. No. It was
I get 2 points for
Mantari
that?
in origin. He doesn't mention Mantaris is the first time they mention it in the series. So
I don't even think it's a real. I mean, I don't really know it on the map. It's not one of the free cities.
It's probably past
It's got to be way out.
over there. Okay,
I'm not as familiar with that one, but that is the answer.
that is the answer. Good job.
So Glenn, we're
right.
at the final scores for season 4.
Yeah, so I had 5 points. Benji had 2. Luke had 7. Abby had 1.
Yeah, see, Johnny, you were playing for Abby there.
Yeah. There you go, Abby. There you go. You're welcome.
So
She got
You're
one.
welcome.
Yeah.
She got
Well,
one out in the season.
next
I think
season.
I think it was one that it was her question, but everyone got it right, even the guest, and so that's how Abby got her point.
If everybody gets it right, then
No, because we only did the guest thing the last 2 episodes.
We did the last 3.
Okay, but even
At
then,
least.
it wasn't hers. I forget what it was.
Either
But
way.
yeah, she did get a point on one.
she got a point
She
somewhere.
earned the point.
So-
yeah, I'll give her credit.
Can I ask y'all just a quick question? Is who would have a better name for Leaf?
For Leaf? I'll
Be a
think-
dickhead about it. It's an
Twig.
open question. I'm thinking Branch.
Branch.
Can't be fucking worse.
Stamen.
Twig. Photosynthesis.
Osmosis.
We'll think about it, and when we
Osmo.
get there, we'll everyone will reveal their best answer.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Opening credits. We have Peter Dinklage, King's Landing, Moat Cailin, Winterfell, Wall Bravos, Marine.
He will read exactly what's on the teleprompter.
Who put an exclamation? Who put a question mark there?
So, I mean, this is probably the first time we see Wall Bravos, right?
Yeah, I think it's the first time we see Wall Bravos.
So at Wall Bravos, we got John, Mance, Wildlings, A. The two toast the dead and treat to terms. Benji.
You can tell Mance is genuine here. He's scared and tired, but he knows he's gonna win over time. I was saying, give me the board.
Right, because I think at this point they're all grabbing their coffees or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning. Probably just woke up. Luke, you got anything?
Yeah, so, this is kind of a longer scene. A lot happens here, and they talk about Mag the Mighty, and, Mance is like, he was their king from a bloodline that stretches back Before the first men, and John kind of has a very stark, classic response. Gren came from a farm. It's very, very much in line with, I think, how like we've seen Rob respond in the past. We've seen Ned kind of do things like that. It's like, well, here's kind of a more blunt, simpler answer of, even...
I don't want to, I can't really be the one-upsman. But.
Right, but at the same time, it's also kind of lifting the person that they're talking about. So in this case, he's still showing a lot of respect for Gren, being like, well, he didn't come from anywhere, but he did a great thing, kind of thing.
The farmhand.
Farming.
All right, Johnny, you got anything?
I love the scene simply because now when you get these normal scenes or even writing wise, like it's just so black and white, like in normal. But in this, just the look between Mance and him, kind of like, look, I know you're fucked, and he's like, I know you're gonna come and try and kill me. First of all, how boss of John to even just go out, like that's a suicide mission. And as you pointed out, the Gren comment, because like Gren always gets forgot about. When I had to like rewatch, to get the notes for it, he always gets forgotten about. And then watching that scene just reminded me, it was like, oh yeah, Gren. And then what he actually did, and he said the whole Night's Watch sermon as the joint was coming in. It's like, what a boss.
Mm-hmm. It's
like, and then John, like, definitely don't let Jon Snow write your eulogy. Fucking shite.
Short epitaph.
Yeah, that was crap. Johnny was Irish and was on YouTube a lot.
People
in the ground now. Go
People know it. All right, yeah, my note, pretty much like it just seemed that the negotiations were not really going John's way. It just seemed like a big catch-22 for him. It's either you let us all in, nobody will die, or we'll just kill everybody. So like the next scene couldn't have come at a better time, I guess, as, we'll just kind of go right into that as, Stannis comes in, Jon, Mance, Stannis, Davos, Wildlings, and Kingsman be. The Wildlings are attacked and are forced to surrender. Luke?
Yeah, this is a pretty badass entrance, right? Stannis fucking rolling up like a G. I don't want to take Johnny's fucking limelight here, but this is a big reason I was really excited to have Johnny on this episode was enter Stann-Man.
Enter Stan. Now, Johnny, you're a big Stannis fan, I hear.
Oh, you hear? You fucking hear? You fucking hear? It's no, for real. I liked this scene. The only reason I can't say I love it is because for years I was telling one of my friends, because I'd read the books prior and I was telling her, oh, just wait until so and so, and I couldn't say it. So when they done it on the show, I can always remember their reply. And I was like, yeah, you just rode in on horses, well done. And it only lasted like a few seconds. I was like, that's fucking bollocks. So that's kind of stained in my head. And because in the books you get the explanation of how Stannis had all these like cell swords, they were formed, the formation of them all, how they came in, just showing how genius and badass he is. And in that scene, it was a few seconds long, but I do rewatch it, like even though it's only GIF kind of ready, for a few seconds. But absolutely loved it. But the other scene with Stannis, which I'm sure will come up, that was my favorite, hands down, of the season. I'm just gonna say Janos Slint. That's in this baby, or am I off?
He's not in this scene. No, that's when they're actually back at Castle Black. We'll get to that next, I believe. Yep.
I believe so.
Shit, well, Stannis, I'm sorry, I let you down. Don't kill me. It was short. It was great, but it was just short. I would have given more shots of how big the army was coming in. Do you know what I'm saying? And I loved how he was with Jon. There was kind of it was harsh, but there was a respect that you could just see there. In the air between your Ned's bastard. Okay, he was still kind of dickish, but we all know that's Stannis' way. But it was just that standoff without words. I loved it. Where he's like, "Fuck you," but you're Ned's son.
Yeah, I respect you, but you go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he definitely was more surprised that the fucking this one crow that's out here that's, talking to, he finds him with Mance Rayder and he's like, oh, I'm Ned Stark's son. Like, what are the fucking odds of that? Like, the guy who very, very publicly died for my claim, essentially. I mean, that's what he did as Hand of the King. And I think he's more just, he doesn't show, he's a pretty strong poker face, but he's like, what are the fucking odds of this?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to establish dominance, though, with everybody being there, Wildlings and Jon Snow. He's got I'm the top dog.
Woof woof. So.
Does anybody remember the Wildling where when they're all dropping the weapons and the one dude just looks around, they're like, oh, you're about to die, and he's just it's like the start of a Street Fighter video game. When the dude gets knocked out at the start, you just run shing. That hard.
No, that reminded me of was it Robin Hood Men in Tights when the guy's like, you haven't seen The Last of Us, and then Robin Hood shoots him with
the 5 arrows.
The 5 arrows
pins
and
him
pins
up against the wall of the tree.
You've seen The Last of Us.
You've seen The Last of Us. Because unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
All right, Ben.
My couple notes on here. Nice of you to join us, Stannis. Probably could have used you last night. Maybe could have picked up the pace just a little bit. But no, I did like the scene between Mance and Stannis. Basically, Stannis like, I'm the true. And Davos was being kind of a dick. I mean, I get it. He's trying to prove the point of, hey, he's the one true king and all this. Mance doesn't give a shit who the one true king is. Mance is a free folk. They don't give a fuck. So Mance is like, we don't kneel. And even Stannis or Davos is like, well, you're speaking to the one true king. We don't kneel. So it doesn't fucking matter.
What's your point?
Yeah, and then Jon stepping up for him, basically saying he could have killed me when he had the chance, but he let me live and heard me out.
I think you should probably listen to what he has to say.
I think you should do the same. Yeah. So I like the scene. A good interaction with the two kings. This is actually the first time we've had two kings interacting since Stannis and
Renly.
Yeah, since Stannis and Renly. I don't know. Yeah, yes.
First proclaimed.
Please don't mention Renly as a king. Come on, Stannis. I've had this on so many streams for so many hours. Yeah, Stannis was the next in line. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he is. I think pretty obvious the rightful heir, and we're with you.
in Game of Thrones, man. Like, I'm sure everybody on the council is like, if you go through the descendants and the line, it's like, we probably had 10 kings in one scene we didn't even know. Well, the way the theories are, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mance, Rhaegar, don't even get me started. Go on, sorry before.
Yeah. Robert and Joffrey.
Yeah. Did anyone else get like a Wildling Ironborn feel when he says, we do not kneel?
We do not so.
We do not so.
It's like, maybe there's some similarities there.
Maybe.
Hard asses.
Originate.
Do you think they know how to sew, though? Ygritte and the windmill as a castle? Like, there's some issues going on there.
Shout out to last night's trivia. Johnny.
What was it?
I was saying
what was last night's trivia?
Shout out to, I'm sorry, Thursday night's trivia Citadel thing. Uverse Milt there with that was your go-to argument of she didn't even know it was a windmill wasn't a fucking castle.
Is it a castle?
Attack the IQ first, then drop.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Thanks for noticing.
All right, next scene, we got Aemon, Jon, Sam, Ed, Slynt, Ollie, Stannis, Davos, Mel, Shireen, Selyse, Gren, Pip, Hams?
Some hams.
Oh, it almost looked like Harris. Tormund, Ygritte, and C. Gren, Pip, and the other brothers end their watch. Tormund asks about his fate, and Jon kisses Ygritte with fire. Johnny.
Like, is this because I said I don't like Ygritte? You were like, this one's gone to Johnny. Like,
no, I kind of do it in order. Everyone gets their.
He actually stays pretty consistent. Yeah. He's gonna alternate pretty regularly.
His next question readout will be green box. I'm only joking. Like, see, I'm very, very biased. So I know you can watch it with an open mind, but the fact that I hate Ygritte is just to get to see it. Just go away. Do you know what I mean? I've not much to offer there because of all the season finales, like I think this one second weakest. Like, do you know what I mean? Not much to offer on that. Except me dad's Tormund, so don't talk shit about him.
You do have this is the fire scene, the pyre scene, where Stannis is kind of overwatching, right?
Right, he's kind of looking over.
I love Stannis, but I'm not going to give him credit for, look how the fire clears out.
Yeah. Look at the look he
didn't do shit. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. I love Stannis, but
I think he's more just watching,
Nice. You guys know that burn about it.
Stannis watching that I care about, but it's not here.
All
right. My note from this scene, we have pretty much Jon talking to Tormund, and Jon's like, "Hey, like we're gonna burn your dead. Like anything you want to say." And Tormund just gives us like, "What? Say what? Like the dead are dead. They're not coming back."
Yeah, okay. Straightforward with it.
Say farewell. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of weird that he's saying the dead don't come back when literally they're from the fucking north, where they consistently have been coming back. If you don't burn them,
he means it as the dead are dead. They're not them.
Even if they come back, it's not them.
Yeah,
and I can buy that.
Yeah.
They're not listening to you.
Yeah.
As you're saying these words, they don't care because they can't hear you.
It's atheism.
So what does it matter?
Projected.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Atheism, basically, just that's it. That's the end of it. Yeah. Sayonara.
Right. The end. All right, Ben.
Yeah, so my that's a good chunk of brothers lying in that pyre pit.
Chunk of brothers.
Pyre pit right there.
Chunk of brothers.
We knew there was 100 when this started. I'm gonna count at around 25, maybe stacked up on a few of them. You know, we'll only see about half of it. Like it's so maybe 20, 25. So that's 20% of the whole group there. Yeah, John, you might want to, or Stannis, you might want to work on some negotiations here. But then also I did, since someone's really mentioned it, the Johnny Gret scene. It was a sweet farewell. It was fitting, and I did like my little comment of he kisses her with fire. It's a big. I want to know how you get that fire to burn that fast. I know kindling and all that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to design a fire, make sure you're doing it on a TV set.
Right.
So it's really fucking easy.
Yeah. By yourself.
And in the
4
woods,
feet high.
where it doesn't rain,
Yeah.
it's just super fucking dry, apparently. So it goes up like lightning.
Right.
The napalm was dropped.
The napalm of the North.
Napalm of the North. All right,
You just see someone in the back with a lighter, when you watch the scene again.
World War I backpack fucking blowtorch.
Yeah.
Smells like Pip and Gren's characters in the books.
Ooh.
Whoops.
All right, Benj, what'd you just drop?
Not gonna say.
Good grief.
Like a phone or
Can't
something.
take you anywhere. It was the keyboard. I was actually going to ask him to go back a few slides.
I will.
But we see John seeing the red woman through the flames. Like he looks at her across the pyre. I feel like there's probably some symbology or symbolism. Simba from Lion King isms. And
Symbology?
yeah, that one right there, where that's the first time they've met, and
Did they meet or they just saw each
the
other?
first time that they've been acquainted across the pyre.
They didn't meet here. They just happened to have met there.
We just met here. Thanks, Neville.
They're on the other side of the fire.
Thanks, fucking Snape. Snape's the fucking worst. Sorry, Johnny. Harry Potter references. We'll try to tone it down for you. We know how much you love it. We don't want to get you started. Those are for Iris. That's But I just thought it was interesting to see her kind of picking him out of the crowd, and it just happens to be seeing it like through the flames kind of thing. Enter Dragon Force reference if you want, through the fire and flames. But that's the main thing I picked up from this course of scenes.
All right. Anything else to add from kind of this Castle
from across
Black?
the room. Dada drinks as the rhythms boom.
All right. Moving on to King's Landing, we see the Mountain, Qyburn, Cersei, GMPD, Grand Maester Police Department. The Mountain's wounds are tended to. Okay, so I'll start this one off. As you see the Mountain, he's kind of on the fritz. Pycelle's pretty much like would be giving up on trying to save him, but I think with Qyburn's kind of bordering on the line of moral responsibility, like he's gonna do what he wants to do, and Cersei doesn't really care either way.
Yeah,
so
do what you have.
She'll just dismiss Pycelle and do your thing. Benji.
So this is going to change him. Will he be weaker? No.
Oh no.
No. You can tell there's later shots with Pycelle that he has the same look from later on in the series where you can tell he's just rock hard. He's just like, you can give me 100 girls right now, it wouldn't be enough because I get to play. And that's the look he's given right now with this.
He's rock hard.
Yep.
And Benji's starting to test the water since Abby isn't here of what can I say?
I just said later. That's all.
Who knows? He could die this episode. We haven't gotten there
He's
yet.
hard every time you see him.
The hardest man in Westeros.
All right, Luke, go for it.
GMP Grandmaster Pycelle is kicked out of his laboratory here, right? And
Sure.
He's like, I recognize the venom. I'm pretty sure it is. And Qyburn's like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And kind of like you were
yeah.
getting at, Glenn, he's kind of thrown in the towel, and that seems to be like the thing that all Maesters would do at this point. And I don't know. I really wish they would have kept the deleted scene with Pycelle and Tywin.
Yes.
Where we know Pycelle is sprightly, and we know that he's got ulterior motives, and he's just putting on this act of kind of fumbling around. I think it kind of solves a lot of what the confusion about Pycelle a bit. I think it just makes it a lot clearer. I wish they would have left that in.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like this old frail man that
Right. Where with that, here you kind of see, in his current comments here, it seems like he's just throwing the towel, giving up when maybe he could do more. I don't know. I think it adds a little extra layer to
a
it.
hassle to try to save.
Right.
So, and I think Qyburn with his experience in kind of
Experiments
on men, he's going to go all out. And
Glenn, you want to talk about your experiments on men?
No.
Thanks
All
for
right.
considering.
Johnny, go for it.
At first and foremost, that deleted scene, like, what idiot was like, oh, look, it's just Charles Dance being a boss again and showing a part of a character that we didn't show the audience. Yeah, cut that. Genius move there, mate.
Right.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love how Tywin's always like skimming certain animals in some scenes. Like, remember he was doing the stag? It was symbolic about what was going to happen. This time it was the fish.
Right. Yeah.
That's very clever. Like, and why cut that? I'm like, I to some of the scenes that were left in this season, I'm like, why cut that, baby?
Yeah.
But
definitely.
Well, that was season 3.
That was season 3
Yeah.
but
still,
regardless,
it still
past,
fits. Yeah.
I mean, it still fits symbolically, like you're getting it, because he's picking out fish. I mean, the Tullys were a big part of that season 3 that he was going after. So
Eradicating.
eradicating, even though they're fish, not rats or Pokemon. But go ahead.
I believe there was a wedding that season. I'm not sure. No, I'm only messing. Devastating.
See, so now we need to get Cersei, pruning some flowers or something when she's doing some exposition. Carry on the tradition.
Yeah, or stroking the sun.
Plucking it for Jamie. He loves
Stroking the sun. Come here, you son of a bitch.
Get down here, you sunny son of a
That's
bitch.
class.
If that motherfucking sun comes down here, I'll
Take
tell
Hotter
you.
boy.
God, that bright sun is bright today.
Get Hodor wiping his arse with leaves or something at the start. Just, tell us all about it. But for real, like that scene, I find it interesting, and it's still a question I pose to this day that doesn't touch on like future events, but it's the way Pycelle reacted when Qyburn was doing that. It's like, I'd love to know how many times was this, because didn't Qyburn say this wasn't tried before at some point? So I was like, I'm gonna try this. Like, I'd like to see, how did he know what to do and how to do what he was doing with the mountain, because he was obviously aware of it, and these operations in the Maester. So the Pycelle's reaction to it, and like obviously he was being kicked out, but was more when he was like, this is an abomination. I think that was him being sincere, because obviously he cares about his power, but I think that was his sincere Maester reaction, because that's why Qyburn got kicked. And that's where I was the most curious, going like, what was like Qyburn's past shit that like he kind of had a blueprint for this type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was scratching my head.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then definitely Cersei just like dismissing Pycelle and being like, no, he's gonna do his thing. Like, you can go fuck off. Like, just adds another layer of,
This is my laboratory.
this is
Not anymore.
Get the fuck out,
Subtitles.
Dexter.
Scoffs.
Sorry.
That's what GMP does. He
Sorry,
he
not
throws
sorry.
his stick down and scoffs.
yeah. Oh yeah, and the subtitles.
Yeah. I love having the subtitles on it. Some of the descriptions are just hilarious.
Yeah.
Men fighting.
It actually has it in brackets, like what the physical shit is doing.
Well,
but there's
like,
no words.
so it was an onomatopoeia, obviously. So it just says scoffs in this side, and they're like earlier when or maybe is that later this episode?
No, when you talk about Arya.
Yeah, is that later this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it then.
Talk about it then.
Yeah.
I just found a new thing though on one of the shows I watched, found it online, and it's the stream had it where it's an audio dictation of like it's basically for blind watchers, and I'm like, I want to see that for Game of Thrones. I want to hear this described.
Yeah, so that's a really common thing for sight impaired overdubbing of basically describing the scenes that are visually being portrayed. And I know for like story writers and writers, they it's really recommended to listen to those to help get used to describing scenery and things instead of just like listening to books by potentially bad authors. Like, hey, listen to a lot of books. That's going to help you. But there's not that many phenomenal authors. So listening to things like that is a really cool way of like, hey, this is a visual description in audio form to help you think about, well, these are the things that they're describing. And it kind of becomes ingrained on, hey, you should probably describe things like this.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really cool, but I wasn't expecting it because nothing warned me of that. So I'm like watching. It's like, and they walk into the room and he drops down papers. Like, okay, and it did add to the show though.
It's taking the TV show and making it an audiobook,
yeah,
as opposed to taking a book and turning it into a show. It's kind of like the reverse back to it. So it's really interesting.
Yeah,
good for them.
All right, so here's the real question, and how would they fill in the blank for that, or what? Like, I'd love to hear the speaker. You remember when Pycelle in the earlier seasons where he's doing his flap after getting laid, you know that thing?
Yeah.
Just get David Attenborough in to talk about a swan or something.
He stands like a praying mantis.
Yeah, how'd you do that shit? That's the real question. We shout out to Pycelle, everyone's favourite character, and we were all disheartened seeing the real man and hero of the show being kicked out of his castle. It was very saddening.
His own work,
Saddening, man.
Yeah.
All right, next scene we have Tywin and Cersei discuss marriages and truths. Benji.
And boom goes the dynamite. Cersei just blew him the fuck out the water with that revelation. Definitely love this scene, especially seeing Tywin being beaten. He's, wasn't expecting that because he is so blinded to his own causes that he overlooked, Jaime and Cersei this whole time. Everybody's saying, oh, they're too close. They're doing this.
It's a big rumor. So.
Yeah, and he's like, no, there's nothing there. Whatever. And then he's finally like, and she's like, yeah, it's all true. And that face, right, right here. No. He just, I loved it. Just finally seeing him taking down a peg.
Right. Luke?
Yeah, I mean, the note that I can take for this was something that Cersei said. She basically gets into being worried about Tommen, and she says, Marjorie's going to have her claws in him, you're going to have your claws in him, and you guys are going to tear him apart. Because, in all honesty, from what we've seen, Tommen probably isn't as resilient as maybe Joffrey. Joffrey he was fucked up.
He's
but
more passive.
He was pretty tough. Like, I think if it really came down to it, he could hold his own against Marjorie.
Tommen's more malleable.
Yes, dangerously, and a bit soft around the edges to where, Cersei has her own political agendas that she doesn't want to lose her queen regency position and her own personal power, but I got genuine care from her in this scene about just being worried about her son in a very, in her mind, really, really dangerous position. Yeah. I bought it.
Because she even brings up the Blackwater, which she was doing. He rode into the throne room. She was going to feed him poison. She's like, that's how far I was going to go, so he would, he wouldn't have to suffer. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
All right, Johnny.
Lena's acting is phenomenal here. The tone of her voice, when she kind of Cerseifies, becomes Cersei mode even to Tywin's eyes, like how the rest of the realm sees her, like for the first time, where she's like, it's all true, that kind of voice.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Cheeky fucker. Just the way she done that tone, it was great, because it seemed like that's why she was so happy and light toned, like the relief, the burden of most of our life. It's like, it's all true. I can totally see Ben's point on the way you're saying about seeing Tywin get owned, but it's like, visually yes, but on a personal level, if you were in Tywin's mind, I can only guess, so it's not factual, but it's like Tywin just ignored the fuck out of it. Like, no, didn't happen, and what I say goes. So I don't think it affected him, really. Do you know what I mean? It didn't happen. Now, not that it matters for long, but for now, it's like, didn't matter, don't care me. I'm off to get laid. By someone I'm not related to. Ooh.
Right, I kind of agree with everything that's being said. Yeah, like Tywin, just hearing firsthand his legacy is a total joke. But I agree with Johnny that, like, you can hear it, but as long as you don't believe it, then it's not true. It never happened. So I think that's where he is, kind of standing at, like, no, you're lying. You're just trying to fuck with me or something like that. So
I don't believe you. It's like, I'm telling you, like,
I think we
true.
joked about this the other day. Like when somebody's like, yeah, I'm guilty of that murder. Like, I did it. No. You're just, you're bullshitting right
there.
You're
fine. No. Don't listen to him. He's fine. He's just drunk.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we've already got the guy.
I did it. That's the blood on my hands. So.
Here's an affidavit. I did this crime with the guy's fingerprints that I killed. Like, I don't believe you.
Right. Similar, like Tyrion was saying that, like, if the murder came and like confessed to Joffrey's death, like they wouldn't. They'd say it was all bullshit. No, Tyrion still did it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So kind
of like Ollie to John, and it's like, sorry, John, I killed your loved one. No, you didn't. You're just a boy, John. I killed her. Like, it was me. I knew what I was doing.
You watched me do it. You saw me after the shot.
No, you're just a boy. It was war. You didn't. Don't worry about it. The absolute denial.
Oh man,
great scene though. Fucking great scene. Lena, like, her as Cersei, man, even up to this point, phenomenal. Just because I despise Cersei in the books and I despise her in the show. So 10 out of 10 to Lena, and she held her own with Charles Dance, which not many can do, because when he comes on set, he commands the scene. It's all around him.
Right.
Lena kind of came in and
outdance the dance.
I like that. Outdance the dance. I like that.
And another shout out to Johnny B. Crazy's earlier stream. They had a discussion full on about Cersei and her character, and the question came up of what's the scene that you dislike the most of Cersei. And in the stream, I'm trying to think, I'm like, there's really, like, every other actor or character, I could be like, they overacted this scene, they overplayed this scene, or it's just so annoying. I honestly couldn't really think of one that wasn't character based. Like,
right,
a scene
you dislike it because you're supposed to.
Exactly. And that just plays to Lena's just skill. Like, even Tyrion and Charles Dance, there's scenes where it's like, okay, that's a bit overplayed. I can't think of one.
Yeah, there aren't many characters that are just heads and shoulders better than the book characters.
Yeah.
This is in the very, very few. Her character here is so much better than it is just to experience. Like, yeah, you still disagree with a lot of things she does, but I think it just makes a lot more sense, and it doesn't just go, oh, I'm fucking crazy, and that's like it. There's like I think Lena is a big reason why it's become so believable on the things. The actions are all essentially the same, but the connotation you get from it. And here's my character analysis voice that Johnny is calling me out for off stream, but I just heard it. And but I mean, there's the connotation that she brings to the character around the same actions that just sell it better than I think George's original writing does in many, many places for her character.
And the insanity isn't played up as much. That's one other big difference, which is okay because you can't show the inside of your brain. They can't show.
It could be there.
Yeah,
we can still question it, but
yeah,
she's a much more powerful player in the game here because it's so believable seeing her face instead of hearing it in her inner monologue of these are the choices I'm making, which just seem like, well, what are you serious? Like, what?
Right.
Exactly.
And I think they do a good job of making you hate, like, not like the character. Because I think there's that, like, Tywin. I mean, a lot of people like Tywin, even though he's kind of in the similar vein of...
Despicable. I mean, he's a terrible, terrible human.
Right. But I think Cersei's just like one of those, like a great character, but everybody hates her.
Yeah. There's only a little gray, like very small, and it comes to her kids. Her care for her children, that's it. Everything else, she's despicable.
And her cheekbones, as Tyrion says.
Yeah.
There's two redeeming qualities about you. Your love for your children and your cheekbones. He's a little dickhead, isn't he? But he's very likable. But yeah, right. Can I just say one last thing before I move on? Because you bring the point about the comparison with the books, is like she's very, 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 very sexual in the books, like compared to the show. So how deep kind of cut that out, and how Lena would improvise, like how she kind of brought a more sarcastic, sadistical side to Cersei to replace that kind of, if you leave a trait out, you have to replace it. You can't just leave it as a void. So I think the fluency of cutting that out and then just making her more sarcastic, it's a great switch. Great switch.
Great twit.
I believe.
So join us live on Twitch in the past. We've been on YouTube. But you can check out the roles, plays, and games on Twitch.
GoFuckYourself.com.
AKA JonnieIndieBoots.com.
If you type one in, it just goes to the...
Redirects. Same main domain host.
Did you mean GoFuckYourself.com?
In Google auto searches, autocorrects. Did you mean
over
go
18?
fuck yourself?
It's a mature site. Then you'll find me.
I promise I am over 18. Enter.
What was it? 14's the new 40?
14 is the new 40. That's right.
That's a fair point. Let me shout out to Chris Hansen.
and go home Gertie. Abby, who's not here. That was something that we I think we put words in her mouth on that one a bit. But she's quoted in saying it after we called her out on it.
All right. Next we have Jaime and Cersei. The family is chosen. Luke.
So Cersei really not caring at all about like the whispering that's going to happen by all of the people around town, around the court, if you will, and because the people are so small that she can't even see them, is what she says.
Right. And they've already been whispering, like
right. To her at this point,
continue to whisper.
What's it really matter? This is a fairly big change from the book that stems a lot from Jaime's changes from the books at the beginning of season 4. I mean, end of season 3, really.
Yeah.
The changes that his storylines had has kind of forced this to be the way it is now. And I think it still works. It's interesting, I think, to see her play a little bit different role. Kind of like we were just talking in the last scene. Her character here is kind of diverging a bit from her main characteristics from the original text.
Yes.
Right. All right, Johnny.
This is pretty much where she shares her Disney dream with Jaime, and Jaime is absolutely delighted to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Prince
what
Eric
a
just
great idea. Yeah, what a great idea. Do you know what I mean? I thought, and then fucking Arthur Dane will appear in the sun as fucking remember
who you are.
Then they dance under the sun, like, you know what I mean?
Arthur Dane, voiced by
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
Jones.
And there's like
is CNN.
there's sex written in the clouds.
How many Lion King references can we sneak in today? They've been very blatant.
I don't know. I've already used Hakuna Morgula's like more than twice before.
Hakuna Morgula's.
I just can't wait to be
Yeah.
Kingslayer.
I just can't wait to be Kingslayer.
You see that place over there? That's Marine. We don't go there.
We don't go there. That's a Shy by the Shadow. We don't. No one goes there.
That's brilliant. So who's Timon and Pumbaa? Would that be like Hodor and Mira with Bran or
Hot
something?
Pie and
Gendry.
yeah, nah. Hot Pie and Littlefinger would be.
Well, they have to be buddies, though.
Yeah, okay.
They
fine.
could be buddies.
They could make it-
How would
they
they
could
be
make it work.
buddies? Whorehouse, Hot Pie, Whorehouse delivering food? Maybe.
Yeah.
that could work.
Hot pie.
Yeah,
is
which kind of reminds me
Hot
of
Pie and Tripod.
just force their relationship.
There you go. Hot Pie Tripod.
Yeah,
Hot Pie.
yeah. That
Then
is
they both
the
talk
Lincoln
about
Power.
American Pie.
So
Makes sense. But
Pod.
hot pod. Hot pod. Pod pie.
Team Rimrod.
For real, I like the scene yet again. Like it wasn't as impactful as the other, but it doesn't mean it was any less. It's kind of like, how do you do the next episode after the Red Wedding kind of thing? It's not. It doesn't mean the next episode is bad. It's just, you know, how do you go past that kind of thing. I like that the show Cersei's kind of not give a fuck. You know, that's one thing I do like about Cersei, even though she's stupid and she thinks she's smarter than she is. It is her brash, not give a fuck kind of attitude at times, and just the way she is. Like I like that. And Jaime was like, you really see him scared, like, and he was actually like mentally, it looked terrified. Do you know what I mean? It showed that Tywin's like paw is still down on him pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like that scene, just to see the complete difference in outlook, more or less, on Tywin, the way he's still afraid, and Cersei don't give a fuck, which means she is like more stupid. Like, do you know what I mean? Tywin's point comes true by that scene alone of what he said to her.
Mm-hmm. All right, Benji, I'm gonna let you go on yours,
Okay.
and then I got this.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My real quick note was basically by the end, Jaime's like, well, fuck. All right, then. Okay. You know, he was like, what are you? No, you didn't.
Right.
No. Huh? All right, cool. Rock on. So-
Right. And it's almost I would have expected Jaime to be more pissed off, is just when this like first conversation after like the big Tyrion getting sentenced and he's pretty much going to be done.
And she like even says that she's calling him out on like,
He's like, way to go.
You've
We
always
just
been a
lost
big
brother.
fan of him who killed our mother. And he's
Right.
like, well, you can't blame him for that. And she's like, no, I do. A disease
Right.
doesn't choose.
But
who
then
kills.
like it just I guess just a piece of ass that Jaime sees, and he's, once the conversation goes and he's like kind of just gives up on that.
You know what the
kinda
turning
motive.
thing, because I think he's thinking exactly the way you're saying, but the thing that changes his mind is when she is down on her knees and she kisses his hand.
Yep, the golden hand.
The golden hand.
I don't have that picture.
And Benji doesn't have that screen cap, letting
Damn
the
it.
team down. But I think that's the point where it's just kind of like, okay, she truly is accepting new me, because it's been really, really distant to this point, right?
Yeah.
And they've only been at odds. And when she does that, I mean, her intentions aside, that is the selling point, the calling card for him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
let me put on the Letterman jacket. Let's go.
We're gonna go bowling after this.
he's that mentality of, I'm gonna hold off. I'm not gonna give in to her. I'm not gonna fuck it. God damn it. All right.
I'm still scratching my head at Luke's fucking innocence over there. Going, as soon as she kissed the hand, I don't think it was the hand that turned him. You know what I mean? When she went down on her knees.
I think it
like,
was. I mean, I think he maybe expected it to be a different part of him,
Right.
But when
Well,
it was when it
what
turned,
did you think?
well,
what
she was
part
probably
are
going to
you
suck his
talking
dick,
about?
is
I
what
don't
he
know.
was thinking he was going to be, if you wish me to say it out loud. But when it turned out that she kissed his hand, it was a very emotional play for him that he wasn't expecting, and that's what turned him to not worrying about Tyrion anymore at that point. That's how I view it, at least.
I mean,
I can understand where you're coming from with it, though. Yeah, no, I can understand. Like, his insecure thing is his hand gone, and
Yeah.
she's kissing it. to
And
kinda
she's
take it away,
she's
I guess.
undersold that sacrifice that he made to get back to her since he's gotten back. She has not been impressed.
she hasn't blown him.
She hasn't blown him any kisses. No, I'm saying she hasn't accepted him since he's been back without the hand.
I won't blow
you
you.
came back
with
without
that
your
hand.
hand and without your hair. She
Right.
doesn't recognize him when he comes back. This is the first time that she brings it back to, you're still mine, you're still my brother and lover, all
Right.
that stuff. So
Let's do it.
he wasn't anticipating that, is my main takeaway from it.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
She gave him a hand. It's okay. And it wasn't this, but by hand, obviously. I don't mean she gave him one of them hands. You know what I'm saying? Not one of them bad
Not
boys.
them.
Only idiots get them. Therefore, strictly for idiots.
All right, we ready to move on to Marine?
Jojen boat? Jojen cruise ship?
Jojen boat? Jojen.
God, I can't wait for the end of this episode to.
Don't think. Well,
There's a lot to say that I can't right now.
Yeah, all right. Anyways, Marine, Danny Barrison, Missandei, Grey Worm, Fenise, Shepherd, Viserion, Rhaegal, and G. Danny allows for slaves to sell themselves, is gifted with a bag of bones, and adds 2 new residents to the dungeons. Johnny.
You see, this is where I see a downfall. I'm obviously a big Danny fan, and I love dragons. They're not overgrown lizards at all. Like, no. But when it comes to Danny and it comes to like the whole ruling aspect, like I always have that problem is you're going into a new culture, just how she implements them, like, and she's being kind of subtly told at this stage, like, relax, look, we all want freedom, we all want love, we all want peace, but you can't just come in, like, imagine someone just came down to this, like, fucking, someone from America came to Ireland, can we just make peace with the North in England? Like, fuck off, do you know what I mean? Everybody wants it, but that's not how you do it, you know what I'm saying? That's what I get from Danny, and the fact that she has dragons, like, she's kind of becoming what she's fighting against at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm fighting against it, so I'm going to force my way. So I'm going to force freedom upon you. How fucked up is that sentiment? So that, like, them whole scenes with Danny, like, that's all I get from her over there. It's like, you're the biggest, like, hypocritean I've seen in my life.
Well,
and Grey Worm, I loved Grey Worm's dialogue. It's always awesome.
Grey Worm's dialogue is a pretty deep character.
Charles Banshee.
I feel like she has great intentions. She just doesn't necessarily always know what she's doing. She doesn't have anyone around her to help her figure this out or see how complicated it is. She is fucking Jorah. She has Jorah.
And Barristan.
She needs strong
and
boys.
Missandei. And fine, yeah.
Oh, okay, so a child slave, a sworn guardian who has only been around stuff, has never made decisions in his life, a known slave seller, someone who just got their freedom and has no cock and can't get over that, is finally becoming a person for the first time in his life.
Listening to anybody.
She's trying to listen to everybody. There's no one to listen to.
But that's why her approach should be more subtle, because she's walking into the lands of, like, very unaware, like, so she should keep that in mind with her approach, like, you know, rather than just, it's like she's playing chess and she's just saying checkmate, and it's like, Danny, like, you can't checkmate me with a pawn. That's what she's doing over there right now. It's like, no, Danny, that's
I'd say
not
she
how you
only
do it.
has the queen. Like, if you're playing chess, she only has, like, she has the dragons. That's her main thing. She's got dragons, Unsullied, maybe like a bishop, like, and then now she's got Marie, which is maybe a rook. Like, she's got three pieces right now. The second sons.
At best, Marines are a knight. They're not as powerful as a rook.
But my point is, like, she has powerful pieces, but no, she was never taught strategery. And she's trying to figure it out. She knows what, in her end game, what the right things to do are. The right way to make that happen is fucking difficult. It's hard. I mean, that's the thing that she's trying to stay there and learn. The only way she has, there's no one around her to teach her, aside from experience, and that's what she's going through.
And she assumes everybody wants the same thing as well.
Right.
So, but yeah, I guess my point is, like, you see this old man here, and he's like, look, like, I can't take this news, like, the way of life I had before, that's what I've grown accustomed to. It's kind of similar to the movie Shawshank Redemption or the book, when, you know, that old man, Brooks Hadlin, I believe his name is. He goes to prison at a young age, and, you know, pretty much back in the day, turn of the century, where it was just kind of a simple way of life. Well, fast forward, like, you know, 50, 60 years, he gets out, and he just can't handle the new life and all the hustle and the bustle and all, you know, all that bullshit or whatever. And he ends up, you know, hanging himself. It's kind of similar with this guy, where he's like, you know, I like the way I'd grown accustomed to the way it was back before, you know, you came in. I want to go back to that because I can't thrive in this new system you've put in place.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and honestly, she does. I give her credit here because she does start to listen and reconsider her means, and she basically says, you know, see, this is, or she doesn't say, but this is how it should be. Let people make their own decisions, whether it's for the better or the worse of themselves. They should be allowed to make the wrong choices. You can't be a tyrant and come in and say, you can't do this anymore, even though this has worked well for you. You're a slave. You can't do that. And it's like, well, but that's not fair. You know, I know this. I had a good place to live. I had a good family to take care of me and that I took care of. We had a symbiotic relationship. Yeah, did they own me? Sure. But it was under good pretenses. Now, is that the case for everybody? No, but you should be able to choose to go back to that and be allowed. So it was a good choice in that scene, and I think that kind of ties right into yours, Luke.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be an entire Dany apologist here, but it's fucking complicated, and she knows it. Like I said, her end game, this is the right choice to make, is free these people. She has no concept of, well, maybe people have it good as a slave. Like, that makes no sense. If you come into a town that you just conquered and you hear they have slaves, in very, very few circles is that going to be like, okay, that's probably okay. You know, like that's probably going to work out for a lot of these people.
But I'm a cool slave.
But, whoa, I'm a good slave owner.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Because her whole mentality of slavery has been driven into her from the Dothraki, how they treated their slaves.
Right.
And so she thinks, every slave, savage slaves, you know, there are realistic, decently treated slaves, you know, in a sense. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's a way.
Right. So my point is, I see where she's coming from. If you come in, you try to just eradicate that entirely. Like, let's just not make that a thing. Hands down, binary, out, right? It's not obviously that simple, is what we're, I think, all getting to. And she kind of allows this slave to give himself back to the master.
Sell.
Well, no, she says you can have a 1-year contract.
He says, can I sell myself back?
Okay.
So she...
I just feel like she should be a little more clear on, that also means wages, like to him, not selling it to anybody else.
Labor
but he said,
contract.
I was just asking
there wasn't enough
question,
information in the...
We didn't see the fine print.
But he does say, I would like to sell myself back to the family. I would like their freedom to sell myself back. Yeah. And so with that...
I was being more semantic, that she didn't make it as clear on her side of the bargain.
Yeah. But fair enough. And I'm being semantic, saying you're incorrect, because under the contract it would say he's selling himself back for the time of the year.
Let's leave the legalese to the lawyers.
And then
in the chat, they can sort this out.
My final note. Well, we're kind of skipping over the farmer and his daughter.
Yeah, that's my other little note. Poor daddy.
Yeah.
Poor guy. That sucks a lot.
So, like, that shot right there, both are all those.
Little fried
skeleton. But these are the ones that actually, you know, it's like, these are tough. These are kind of shitty scenes. You're watching these. I look at them as dogs, you know. I mean, they act like kind of like loyal canines. And you bring them down, you think of Dire Poe, you know, bring her ass down here and be like, hey, treat. Run up, and then you hear...
All right, Poe, let's go upstairs.
These two didn't do anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was,
basically
Drogon that did the whole...
Yeah, Drag Gunner eats a fucking rabbit, and you have to lock her in the basement.
Sorry, Dire Poe.
You know, but it's those screams, they're tough, you know, and just...
The dragons land, and she just whips out a big roll of paper and just smack. What was the cost for that?
Leave the mailman alone.
The dragon buried a bone.
Gotta get that shot collar.
That's for looking like your brother, you cunt.
This is really sad for the dragons, right? I mean, these two, again, like, they didn't do dick. They didn't do anything. And,
guilty by association.
Guilty
of being a dragon.
Right. Oh, you're a dragon? Guess what? You get the catacombs. The catacomb treatment. And
I think it was more of a message to the people, though. No, it was
sure,
kind of to show you, look, I've got to let my dragons run wild. Like,
yeah, and I completely agree. And they're just kind of the casualty of the political things that she has to do now, because she realizes this is kind of a big deal. Like, it was one thing when it was just sheeps and goats and things like that. It can't be children. Like, I am going against my regency by not protecting my people if I have these fucking nuclear fucking bombs that are just on their own warpath with no control.
Right.
So I have to start bringing them in a bit.
I mean, it's similar to, like, you know, around here, like, certain counties have like a clause that says you can't own a pit bull.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, and I hate that shit. It's like, it's a fucking dog. Like,
right.
It's a dog.
Yep. Meanest dogs I've ever met was a Jack Russell Terrier.
Cunt
Right.
dog. If you have a Jack Russell Terrier,
your dog's a dick.
It might be a dick.
I had a mongrel Jack Russell, and she's my favourite dog. You word is she. Because that bitch doesn't get offended when I call her a bitch.
So my final note on this scene here was we get a sad Targaryen theme. It's a very minor tonality version
of the same tune, but just like a...
If you hear it, you know it, and a lot of times it's very triumphant, because we only really hear that when Dany's doing these big,
very
huge...
defeated version of the same song.
Yeah, definitely, and
I think you're right. They played it in like a minor key, and
just the accompanying background stuff with it is
Team
just
America,
slightly...
World Police, with America.
Exactly, it's usually a very triumphant.
Fuck yeah,
fuck yeah. It's just like sad and like weepy behind it instead. But it's just kind of interesting, especially because Ramin Djawadi was our news this episode. That it's just really good job of taking those themes and making them character based and fitting in with the story that we're seeing.
Right.
And also to note as well, because like it was said when they talk about the dragons and like when they were, remember with Joffrey, was it in a Joffrey scene where they say when the dragons got smaller and smaller when they're showing them the skulls. So the captivity obviously has a part to play on that as well. That's how they got smaller, because they were trapped. Like,
yeah, but there's only 2 of them in here. The 2 smaller ones already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's we know that the black one's the big one, because even in that scene, I think the guy's like the big one, the big black one,
The big black mamba.
the big black mamba.
I hope nobody's just listening to this stream at this moment, because
we were doing snake jokes, Black Mamba. The most venomous snake.
We're talking about Kill Bill.
Talking about Kill Bill. All right, Glennie, take us out of here.
All right, we are going north to the wall. Your Jojen train, if you will.
If you will.
Hodor, Bran, Mira, Jojen, Summerleaf, 3 I Would Raven, and H. The crew make it to the Weirwood tree, where they meet some whites, some children, and see a man about a tree. All right, so like you see this scene where, you know, Jojen kind of trips up, and then Bran's like, Jojen, look at this tree. And then you see the sun kind of pop out, you know, for that kind of split second as they're looking at this Weirwood tree. I thought that was kind of cool. And then like all of a sudden it's just gone, like the sun gone.
Right.
And you really don't see that, like the sun in the north, you know, too often, like every now and then.
They caught it for the 30 seconds of when it was actually pointing.
Right. And then once the big battle with these whites, you know, come out, you see Hodor with the 3 Stooges poking of the eyes.
Oh, tell me I have that one.
I don't think you do.
Nope, I don't. I missed it.
Anyways, he pokes him, you know,
Yeah. He bowling balls. He bowling balls his ass.
Can we get confirmation if he pokes them in the eyes, please? This is serious.
Well, I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have eyes. I think it's just like where their eyes
Just
would
eye sockets.
Be. Yeah, the sockets.
This is
so he pokes
the
them
back end of it. He grabs him from behind and starts to flip
Yeah, he's
him.
on his back. He's like, dink. All right, Ben.
Now I know I guess it would be a paradox. You know, you could put it that way of I know the future, but you can't change the future. But if you know this is how you're gonna fucking die, Jojen, maybe you might say, hey, I'm gonna die on a fucking field of ice by some white just casually with a mechanic arm
stab.
You know,
You guys were perfectly in sync for a second there.
you know, right
Nice
here,
job.
just that was like the dumbest.
Exactly, Johnny. It's like they practiced.
That was his face. There is the dumbest face of the season. Just I'm getting stabbed.
Mira, I'm getting stabbed.
No, that's the face of someone who read the books. They're going, what the fuck?
Yeah, that too. Very true. You know, but
Just end it.
But my point is, you know, he said, you know, because later on the scene, Treebeard fucking
Treebeard.
tells you know, Bran and Mira he knew that's how he was going to end. Well, if he knew, maybe he might say something and we could change that. Again, it's a paradox. I know you can't change the future; it has to happen. But it's one of those. It's one of those weird.
Well,
situations.
time travel is always frustrating. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's fucking frustrating
But
knowing
this
where it's
isn't,
going.
this
and you
isn't
can't
time
say
travel.
anything.
This is future sight. There's a difference.
That's
I
any
know.
kind of mental time travel process. Any of that.
Yeah.
it's
So
it's difficult.
It's just it's one of those of which way to play it.
That's why it's not physically possible.
Yes.
Yet.
All right. Yeah, not yet.
Not
But
yet.
Maybe later. Luke.
So this is the first time we see the skeleton whites and the children of the forest. They don't actually call themselves children of the forest here. They just say the children.
The chillins.
But this is the children of the forest. And what do you guys think of the looks of both of these sets of characters?
Of Jojen.
It looks like someone's kid, yeah, and they tried to dress them as a Christmas tree on a low budget.
For the children.
For Halloween. Yeah, Jojen's a bit of that too.
It's just Christmas tree.
We got another come with me if you want to live kind of thing. Come in here if you want, or die. Kind of just tropey,
But that doesn't
mentality.
work in real life. Like, guys, hey, come in this van if you want to live. I got candy.
Glenn knows.
You just get put on a list.
And you can't live in certain neighborhoods.
But here, come to my house, and I got lemonade and cookies on the table.
You got that Jack Johnson album? I love Jack Johnson.
Hey, come here. Why don't you take a seat?
I feel like the skeletons do not look very good at all. This feels like mid 80s skeleton CGI to me. I mean it looks good, but like the stylist of it, I just don't think it's I don't like it.
Like there's some good shots, like that's a pretty decent shot popping up when you're not expecting it, kind of I guess that's
I think skeletons always look cheesy.
Yeah.
It's
hard
as
to do
CGI.
right, yeah.
It just always looks cheesy. It reminds me of
realistic.
I can't even remember the name of that movie, but it's like one of those really like cheesy parody movies of I'll try to find it.
Like Scary Movie or
No. It was like early 90s at the latest.
No, do you know what they look like? Is you just made me think of it. Do you ever see Hook? Do you ever see the children in that? It looks like that design looks so fucking cool. Can we put it in? Fuck it.
Yeah,
they look like children in Hook, man. That's what they look like.
Yeah. Did you find it?
I haven't even Googled yet. I'll get back to you if I find it. I probably won't be able to find it.
All right, Johnny, you have a thought?
Well, when the scene opened up, and I'll kind of say something without saying something, kind of thing. Is do you remember how they start coming up from the ground? In my mind, I was like, "Oh shit, we're finally gonna!" Oh shit, and then it turns out it was just a white, and he just gets smashed. I was like, "All right, that's not who I thought that was gonna be." I guess not. He starts attacking them.
That's welcoming.
I was like, that's not what you were supposed to do. I was like, that's definitely not who I thought. And he starts getting smashed, and then obviously the Jojen shit kind of. Do you remember with Talisa at the Red Wedding? Like I got Talisa the fuck out there. Same shit. Exact same
the stab to the gut. Yeah, over and over. Yeah,
exact same type of shit. I was like, what? Yeah, and then when that happened, I kind of like when they kind of turned me on my head, and then obviously then when you think after about how maybe bad that probably was, but in this case for the moment, I enjoyed it. I liked it until the Hook children came out and started throwing the Green Goblin from Spider-Man 2001 bombs.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
Willem Dafoe bombs.
Movie. That's what they are. They're them little grenade pumpkin bombs.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe and James Franco.
What are they called? The Lost Boys?
Yeah. Yep. The Lost Children.
That's what they are, the Lost Children.
But they're not vampires.
What a movie. But yeah, I liked how they kind of shocked me. For the shock factor, they got me, definitely, because I thought all of them were going to make it into the tree. And they got me there, because I was kind of turning my head going, oh, shit. And that line, like, come with me if you want to live, like, it's corny. But yeah, and the grenade bombs. I didn't like the grenade bombs, but I liked what they did with Jojen. Sounds like a fucked up thing to say when I like how they stabbed the kid viciously and showed you his face as he died. Like, I don't mean it that way. I mean it from an art.
They did a good job with it.
Yeah. I have no gripes with that as much as people complain. Because they got me. You know, I thought I knew everything, and Jon Snow that I know nothing.
Yeah.
I like that. All around, I like that.
That was on the level of the Talisa murder.
That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay,
It reminded me of the belly stab.
Gotcha. I missed that part. Sorry, Johnny.
And so like as soon as
Bilbo
Stabbins showed up. No.
As soon as Mira, what's this? I want in on that.
As soon as Mira kind of shoved Jojen away because she was trying to protect him, and he hits the ground, he does lay there for a little bit too long, like. Because he also is all looking around and sees Bran, like 2 skeletons pop up out of the ice going after him. So I see why he's a little distracted, but like move a bit, I guess.
Move.
You know, dramatically, it's still done well. I like the way it ends up. I was on the Jojen train, I know, but
the Jojen train.
Here's to Jojen. Here's to Jojen
to its final rest.
There goes the caboose.
Oh,
cheers for Johnny.
Cheers, Johnny. Luke, help me out here. What's the name of the train yard in Derry?
Oh, fuck. Well, keep talking.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just saying it came to rest at that train yard, and Pennywise took it over.
And you know, another reason I was happy to see him die, because when I done my first few YouTube videos, people were calling me Jojen, so get the fuck off the show, you little. I don't want to be tagged with you. Yeah, I don't want to be tagged with you.
It's just that creepy.
It's just the one off Maple Street. I don't think there's really a name for it.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure if there was.
That's why I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. But final thoughts on Jojen. Decent character, decently acted. I'll give him credit, but it was just very creepy in the sense of just a creepy kid just popping out of nowhere. If they
like telling you about what's gonna happen.
Well, like if they would have gone with the source material where they started off at Winterfell and they were friends there, and then they all had to leave together. Okay, I would have been more accepting, but like where they just pop in just randomly in the middle of fucking woods, just hi, I know I've been seeing your dreams. Oh, fuck off. You know. this version just as always kind of bugged me, so I wasn't sad to see him go.
All right, anything else?
He's also very good
That's
in the
Ben's
Scroach
perspective on
trials.
kids,
Scroach
for everybody
trials.
listening.
What's that, Johnny?
I was saying that's Ben's perspective on children in general. Like,
Yeah.
that's just fuck them. Just
Fuck,
go away.
fuck 'em.
I don't need to see your condom commercials. It's like I'm already there. Fuck.
All right, let's move on to the Vale, more specifically near the Vale. Brienne, Pod, Sandor, and Arya the First. Brienne finds one of her charges, but runs into a guard dog. So, Benji, you can start this one off.
Now I know I said 2 episodes ago that it was probably the best one-on-one fight we had seen, but I made it clear to say up to that point, because this fight right here between these two, this is the realest fight you could ever imagine. Just
You're referencing Mountain
Viper. Yeah, that one was the coolest one because the emotion behind it, and this one is just a knockdown, fuck you up, drag out that they just go at it. Like I love the cunt punt. You know, see, I think I have it, and this one I have
Of
a lot.
course you would.
The cunt punt.
Oh, right there, boom! That's just brutal.
Ding.
Because it's, but she does. She returns a favor and gives him a
she
cock
did it
knocker.
first. She
Yeah.
did it first.
Okay,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah, gives him a cock knock. He gives her a.
She opened that door. She asked for this.
you know, but you can,
Initiated it. I wish that. It's like Greedo shit again. She initiated it.
you know, but this one hitting each other with rocks, just punching, kick. You know, they're just going all out. And really, the Hound, like with Jamie Brienne, that fight, they can say, oh yeah, his hands were tied together, and you know this and that. The Hound had a bite. That was it. He just had a bite taken out of him. Wasn't really feeling the effects all that much. They were at least not having shown in the show.
They could have sold that up a little bit more, but
But there was.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, there's not very much hinder. There's not much.
Kind of
hindrance.
undersells Brienne's
Exactly.
actual ability in that case.
And
And
this
this is truer to the fair fight.
Exactly,
level.
and she wins. You know, she throws his ass off the mountain. You know,
Yeah.
she's the queen of the mountain. But Arya burnt the fuck out. So yeah, it's one of those. Like I said, this is my favorite. Yeah, fight scene one-on-one through the series. And if I say it again later on, remind me of this because I'll just forget.
The realism that they brought into this fight is impressive. I mean, you see them just getting worn out.
Yeah.
Like you don't see that in fights often. Like in TV show or movie fights, it's usually just like, oh, these guys are invincible and they can just go for days. And like, yeah, we get it. They're superheroes. But this is just like, yeah, like neither one of them was looking for a fight.
No.
Before this, you know, they didn't go searching for each other to take him out and all this, but like they found each other. They didn't like what the other one had to say, and yeah, knock down, drag out. They get tired in the middle of it, and they're both doing it because they both care about Arya in their own ways.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Right. Was that your point?
No.
Do you want to say your point then?
Pod's face when he sees the Hound is just like, oh god, that's the fucking Hound. Like, what the like? How is this possible? Like,
Senor Hound.
like we're in the middle of, in his mind, in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're seeing the Hound. Like, what the fuck? And then, like, with that, Brienne kind of puts it all together, and, like, Arya really only hears, well, she's got Lannister gold with her, and that's kind of the end of it for her. I think she could have been convinced if the Hound didn't bring up the sword.
Yeah.
I think she was making good points, and I think they could have worked something out to be like, okay, that makes sense. Like,
Right.
I can buy
But
this.
I think
but
he was very skeptical because in his mind, people are still, they know of the bounty on him, so they're coming after him, to try to get all that quiche. Yeah. So I think that's what he thinks. And also I think this is the scene where we have the Brienne's walk. We were talking about that earlier, where Brienne's
Yeah,
walking
the
up. And then
subtitles.
the subtitles say Arya doing whatever.
Arya grunting. It's like before you even see her, it's like, well, there goes that little nifty surprise. Like, thanks, subtitles. Fuck.
Podrick's big cock flocks off the rocket.
Whoops.
Podrick drags his dick.
Fatigue -10.
All right. Are you done with whatever the fuck you were trying to say?
Go. I have several things kind of through. This is kind of a long scene, so
All right. Johnny.
I don't know how to go after Lukey on that. It was impressive. No, but for real, I loved it just from an unbiased point of view. It's fucking awesome. Like I rewatched it not so long ago there, and I was even telling like Edis, like going, you know, looking back on it was fucking pretty epic. But at the time I was pissed. I was like, the Hound did smash your face in, you little oath breaking bitch. But this is her stigma is in this type of shit. So I have to give credit where credit is due. She did awesome, and it's actually one of my favorite things that they kind of improvised that was nowhere near in the books. Like I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool. It's like he must listen to all theories from, book readers and shit and like what ifs, and they were just like, maybe we can zing it.
What if these two big fighters fought each other? Who would win?
Yeah.
Let's make that happen, right?
And then also, Johnny, to the point, this shows Arya that a girl can be a fighter, can beat the Hound, because the Hound
solidifies that in her brain.
It's a great point, yeah.
So this is go ahead.
Yeah, no, so it's because when she's saying she's a knight, it's like everything when Arya was having that conversation with Ned. Remember when they sat down? That's a great pickup there, yeah, because like that's kind of like confirmed kind of thing.
Sorry, Johnny.
No, go on, man. Go on. No,
and not only that, it was against the guy who literally smacked the shit out of her when she tried to stab him with armor. Like, because about 3 or 4 episodes ago, he goes, "Go on, stab me," and she actually did, and she was like, "Oh fuck, that doesn't go through armor," and got the shit smacked out of her. But then she sees Brienne in armor, in full garb, taking him on. So it's just another play on that level.
Yeah, that's a great observance to put on, man. I totally agree with that. And now that I call me being very unbiased there, first and foremost, the Hound was injured. Second, the Hound was just after having a shit. If he was in full form, that fight wouldn't be as epic as it was. You had to put the Hound down a little bit so it was even for Brienne. Sorry, the Hound is a different beast, and Brienne is a beast in her own right. I can't say factually. I think it's unfair for all of us to say factually the Hound would have won, and factually Brienne would have won in it, because we don't know. Like, really, we don't know. In my opinion, I think the Hound would smash her at full form.
Yeah, because he probably had to pinch off, that shit he's taken,
pinch a loaf,
and then not even wipe really or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's going with mud ass.
Right.
I mean,
so he's got to deal with that, and then
he doesn't have Leaf around to help him.
Leaf, a little help here.
That's the best use for Leaf in the whole story.
This is a wiper.
So like, I think we'll get into more of the. Go ahead, Johnny. Go for it.
It's just that the last thing, because you brought up Podrick as well. Like, how lucky is Podrick that he did not catch Arya? He'd be fucking dead.
Oh yeah, he'd be another fat boy leaking some water.
Yeah.
I loved it though. I loved it. All in all, loved it. I thought it was awesome, man. Fucking awesome.
I think the next scene we're gonna get into a little bit more of like how complicated it is with Hound and Arya, but like we see before the fight even happens, we see the Hound really stand up for her, right? I mean, because Brienne's like, I'm gonna take her to safety, and the Hound's like, safety? Where the fuck is that? And then
her mother's dead, her brother's dead, her aunt's dead,
her house is burned down. Like, where the fuck is that? And there is no safety. If you don't know that by now, you're probably not the best one to be fucking watching her. And it was just so well stated. And then she says, and that's what you're doing? And he goes, yeah, that's what I'm fucking doing. Because, Arya might not agree with the intention that she thinks that the Hound has, but he's done a good job of taking care of and sticking up for her. She started a couple different fights that he fucking finished to keep her alive. Yeah, he gets pulled into him, but he could easily have just ridden off and be like, well, there goes that. But I think over time, they've gotten to somewhat care for each other more than a captor ransom detail.
Exactly.
So it was just kind of really neat to see the Hound and Brienne both had really great intentions, I think, for the same thing.
But like
the Hound, they won't find a common ground without fighting.
It would be silly to just be like, yeah, take her. Like, you guys got a lot of good points. Like, go ahead. Like, he doesn't even know who the fuck these people are. Really.
And she shows up wearing a fucking Lannister sword. Like,
interrupted his shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take a dump ski here. Can I finish, please?
God damn. Just give me about 10 minutes.
Put some music on. Entertain yourself.
The Hound is in a fucked up way, the Hound is the best thing to happen to Arya at this moment. He's her best teacher by far, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
He taught her the gritty nitty of how the world works and how to live. When Brienne was coming, as you pointed out, he didn't really know who she was. And if you look at it, like, the Hound never conveys love, but that was a very protective, loving thing that he was actually standing in for. They're going, yeah, over my dead body, you're getting this chick. We know Brienne's intentions are good, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who the fuck she is.
Exactly.
So he was the actual hero of that segment, just in my opinion.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
Good scene.
Let's move on to the next scene. We have the same Sandor and the same Arya. There's not new ones that are coming in.
Same ones that we've had.
Sandor begs for mercy, but Arya only leaves him empty-handed. So, Luke.
Are you going to die? Unless there's a maester hiding behind that rock. I'm going to die. Like, we know that the Hound is very pragmatic. He sees it. He says it like he sees it. And he's like, yeah, this is basically it for me. Can you help me out? And she doesn't. But kind of going along with what we were getting into last scene, what Johnny had brought up, he shows some real love for Arya in the way that he protects her. And I think the only time we've really ever gotten that from him is when he harkens back to Sansa. And yeah, he does it in a trying to provoke Arya to kill him kind of way. But the fact that on his literal death rock, if for lack of a better term, he's thinking back to Sansa and like, oh, and again, under provocation terms, he says, I should have raped her. Like I want, like, because at least I'd have one happy memory. But like at that time, we knew that he was trying to save Sansa, right? I mean, so like that's like the other time that he's actually had some kind of love in his life, whether it be just big brotherly trying to protect them as younger sisters, which the show does not get into how Sandor's younger sister was killed by Gregor, but that mentality is there, or even a romantic relationship in Sandor's mind of either one of the Stark girls, however you want to take that. But the fact is, he grew to care for both of those. He stuck up for Sansa over and over again against Joffrey. Yeah. He stuck up for Arya over and over again against fucking everybody. And they will never realize how much they meant to him. They will never realize how much they meant to him.
Yes. And one thing that ties together the Hound, especially when he talks like Ned Stark and everything, is you know what happens when wolves and dogs get together? The dogs take out the wolf. No, I think the Hound truly believes the dogs and the wolves stick together. Like
they join the pack.
They join the pack.
If they can, if they can hang.
Yeah. And so, and I think he thinks both of those girls, in one way or another, could. And so they're both dogs, or
they're both packless wolves, if anything.
Yeah.
In the pack.
Pack guards.
Right. But there's like another thing. Like he's also trying to die too.
Right.
So I think he's trying to convince Arya to kill him.
Yeah. Provoke her for sure.
So he's kind of mentioning like oh man, I wanted to fuck your sister so bad, and stuff like that. Kill me.
Right.
So I don't like. He is kind of like almost on his deathbed, like trying to talk this, but at the same time, he's just wanting, to get it over with, and Arya to, take him out.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, and he brings up Micah over and over again, like that had butcher's boy blood on my saddle for weeks, and it smelled the stink.
Yeah. All right, Johnny.
I'm like, even to this day, I'm conflicted as fuck about it. Like, that great points that everyone is making there just makes me think even deeper. It's like when you go back to the scene, I believe the only reason Arya didn't kill him, and this sounds fucked up, but like it was out of emotion and love in a sense. I know it looked bitter and you will die slow, but I don't think Arya could draw herself to kill him. Like in the end, she couldn't, because I think the scene that really connected them was when the Hound actually like let her stitch his wounds up. I was like, there was a connection, and a ridiculous connection forged between them, because he let her in, for that moment. He let her in, and she was well aware of that. Like that's where she became Team Hound from there on out between them. And I believe like that was flickering through her head, and she didn't do it out of bitterness. Both of them are playing an act with each other. The hard man, kill me, I raped Sansa, I can smell the blood. And Arya's like, I'm gonna let you die slow. They're both just talking shit to each other. They were both absolutely devastated with what has just happened there, and they did not know how to deal with it. That's my opinion on it. Like, so it was out of love in a sense, not like it's not like I was blah blah, stop John. But so I believe in a fucked up way it was out of love. She couldn't bring herself to do it. Do you know what I mean? Same way he was trying to antagonize her, like he did all this stuff he didn't do. They're both shit talking each other and devastated by this whole situation. And Arya just gets on with it because she's a strong ass motherfucker.
And I don't think Arya has it figured out on her feelings on where it's too quick. I mean, for her she doesn't know where she falls at this moment. Like, if I kill him, that's it. And yeah, he was on my list, but yeah, like she doesn't know. Yeah. And so,
well, she thought he was dead anyway. So she kind of thought, well, he's crossed off. I just don't have to do it.
Do you think like she took him off when he did let her do the wounds? I think she took him off the list. She was like, okay, you are not what I thought you were.
Right. I think she was just stubborn during that scene when she put him on the list in the first place. It wasn't like
because he was calling her out for it.
Because he was like, can you shut the fuck up, please? Like,
are you going to name every fucking person in Westeros?
Yeah. And then she just kind of did that, like, kind of like a little, shot against him real quick,
And I think that was fair at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But he had been on the list.
He had been.
Yeah.
Right.
But the way she did it, it was kind of like a. And then also,
right. Yeah, fuck you, And then, I mean, they've been together. The fool
who ups my
they've
list.
been, riding together for a while now. So, I mean, she probably sees like his personality come out and like has grown on her or whatever a little bit.
She's seen his shits come out.
She's told him whenever someone's coming when he's taking a shit. So
people coming.
they got one of those
right,
relationships.
That did happen. Yeah, quick, someone's coming as he's pulling his breath. Yeah. Very good spot, man. Very good spot on that. Yeah. The Hound is that dude, though, isn't he? He's kind of like he'd say to Luke, he'd go to you, "You're a broke cunt, aren't you?" As he signed you a check for $1 million or something. Do you know what I mean? But he won't let you see him. He won't let anybody see him doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the outside, he's that. You know, that's kind of what
Johnny,
he does.
are you like that? I could use $1 million.
that was an analogy for the record.
Okay. All right, we'll talk off screen.
That's a different universe where that happens. So.
But that's a great point, man. With the shit spot, and amazing point.
always looking for shit.
We really analyze the shit.
We have our modus operandi on this show.
Analyze the shit.
That's next scene.
There's more shits to come.
but last thing on this one though, and like I'll stop about it, is with the Hound like being afraid there, like he was totally afraid. There's no doubt about it. But do you think that would go back to? Do you remember? Was it the farmer? Remember when he was dying and the Hound was kind of looking at him, going, "You know, you're not going to live." So the Hound finds himself in a similar situation like that, and because he gave him an honourable way, you know, quick slice, like, and when he was telling to Arya, aim for the heart, like, do you think that's why he like? It was so set up for that, wasn't it? Beautifully,
absolutely.
And it wasn't done. It was so set for that, and that's why Arya was too weak to do it. You know what I mean?
Weak or conflicted. I mean,
not weak. Yeah, weak's a poor word. Sorry, I retract that.
Yeah, I'm with you though. It's absolutely harkening back to that, and the last scene of them fighting at the Crossroads Inn, which I think was the first episode of season 4, because it was when it was the eating the fucking chickens, where the Hound shows her where the heart is. And he's like, "Well, that one's yours. You have to fucking kill him now. That's where the heart is." And basically, like, regardless of, or maybe that was later on with Rorge and Biter was when that was.
Because that was after the farmer. It was
in all of these fights and killings that they've done. There was the Mercy kill. There was some Retribution kills that they've done together. And I think it's absolutely harkening back to all of their experience here of, does she want to give him the gift of mercy?
Yeah. Because here's the other, it also harkens back to him saying, "Your father liked killing." You know, she's like, "My dad didn't like killing." Bullshit.
Killing's the sweetest thing
Killing's the sweetest thing that there is. He loved doing it. He might not have said it, but he loved it. There's nothing better than seeing the light go out of their eyes. They both said it, you know, going up to the veil. Seeing the light go out of their eyes and all that. So he was trying to play up, you want to see that again. You want to get my name off your list and all that. I will, Glenn, did you already go with your point?
We've kind of said it. So.
Okay.
Nice job, Glenn.
My only thing is, holy fuck, this scene actually still I'm not gonna lie, I'm man enough to admit it, I fucking teared up watching the panic and fear in Sandor's eyes as he's begging for her, "Please kill me, I wanted to reach
kill me,
you know." And he's just so fucking scared because he knows he's fucking crow food. He's gonna be eaten alive just laying there.
Right. He doesn't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, because you're gonna bleed out, but he can't move, he can't do shit. So this one I'm not gonna lie, watching it, I was a little drunk, but I was like, damn, that's harsh. You know, It was like, that's kind of, fuck, Arya, that's cold. But I mean, it's still a great scene between these two, and it's a good way to end it. Watching, you know, let her walk off.
How about that wound that he had on his leg when he shows her the wound that looked pretty bad? Do you have that? Or?
About there,
you can kind of see it.
That's about the best I could get of it. But yeah, she's like, "Can you move?" He's like, "I'm not going anywhere." No. And then
look at this shit.
Yeah, as Luke said, "Are you gonna die?" Unless there's a mesa around that rock. Yeah, I'm probably gonna die. Hi, Dire Poe.
Which there's like nobody there. Like, this looks like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, 10 miles away from the Bloody Gate.
Exactly.
So, all right. Anything else to add?
No.
It's ironic that a dog barks in the background, you know, and a pup, like, you know, when a life fades, a life is brought to it. And that's symbolism. Or as Luke would probably say, symbology at its finest. Symbology.
All right. So we will, I guess this is a promo for TeePublic.
Yeah, go for it.
Check out our TeePublic store where we have merch to perch, including our Sandrixian design Lumber Like an Umber t-shirt. If Luke gets his shit together for once, we'll have our sigils and a few other items posted after recording today. You can find our shop at thepodcastthat.com/merch.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bunch more designs on there. We have some other Sandrixian drawings that she did when she was live streaming with us. Dari 1.0 versus Dari 2.0 shirt, Patchy Wise, potentially. A couple other really cool things. Tyrion, just a Tyrion face with a beard.
With the
so
beard.
it's actually
and no nose or nose.
There's a nose. It's
Yeah.
But we're trying to get some more things up on there for this show and other shows as well. Please check it out.
Check it out now. The Funk Show Brother.
I was just
Right
gonna do that.
about now.
Right. The chunks. Your room.
All right, let's move on to King's Landing. All right, Tyrion, Jaime, Varys, hashtag Shea Stadium,
She's back.
Tywin, and Kay. Jaime releases his little brother. Varys shows him the way out. Tyrion makes a pit stop to his old chambers to find an old friend and leaves something in the toilet. Johnny.
Shot Tywin on the shitter. First of all, what a great song. I highly recommend checking out Westerosi Pie. It's a version of that. It's beautiful. I thought awesome. Tyrion and I guess would it be okay to bring up chapters that happen in the book?
Yeah.
That would be before this. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Tisha is personally my favorite chapter of all the books. So I'm kind of watching it with that still in my head, even though we didn't get it in the show. But I'm not causing a stir because of it, because there's a lot to get through. But with all of that, and just shout out to Shay. Shout out to I hate Shay. Fuck Shay. She a fucking dick. Yeah, for real. Yeah, fuck.
A fucking dickhead.
Cheers.
Shay, the fucking dickhead.
Yeah, cheers to that.
And
Now, if I
for
break
John.
my webcam, cheers, and y'all, I swear to God. That was the lightest hand ever. You know how
I'm
slow
trying.
and weak I approach.
It doesn't work when you flick it. Well, we've all had that problem before.
It doesn't work when you flick it.
Speaking about flicking, do you think Tywin he had a cherry? He had a cherry picker hanging from him. He could have been done ages ago. And
He's doing the wiggle.
Yeah, you know the niggler, and you're like, and it's like,
I gotta get this out.
And this little dwarf who's been hanging on to me, you're like a little wiggler my whole life, you know. And then Tyrion just walks in.
Dingleberry pie.
The scene was superb. But what do you expect? Do you expect less from two phenomenal actors? Not really good. Dance and Peter Dinklage comes out. He comes out swinging with his acting chomps. You know what I mean? Because he's keeping with Dance. That's the challenge. It's not about Dance being good. It's about keeping up with fucking Dance every scene. And the two of them, they fucking killed it. And the crossbow, may I say, the crossbow looked absolute badass. Just in Tyrion's hands, the way he's dragging it along, so sadistic at the same time, but you're on his side for the whole thing. And don't say whore one more time. And I loved how Tyrion was so defined, and seeing Tyrion in this position over his father was real gratifying. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure for all of us, you're like, this is good. If anybody deserves to talk to Tywin like this, it's not fucking Cersei, it's Tyrion. Do you know what I mean?
No matter if he's taking a shit or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that evens the playing field, if anything, because he took Tywin's shit his whole life. And it was just beautiful, everything. And I loved the way, instead of they got their dialogue in, they got their build up, their tension. But when he told them at the start of that conversation, don't call her a whore, I love how he just kept to that. And that conversation could have been dragged out for a solid 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just how when he said the whore, bang, how he stood by that. And
he says, whore, loved it. Pull the trigger.
If you say whore one more time, I'm going to shoot you again. Well, wherever whores go.
Whore.
Thump.
Shot Tywin on the shitter. I love the amazing scene. There's very rare moments when a book can come to life, and that'd be up there with some of the great ones. Definitely no complaints from me at all. Loved it. The fact that was in season 4, I'd probably complain about, but other than that, so.
Yeah, so Tyrion with this unfinished business he has here, and he gets the buy one get one free. With hashtag being there, I think he's going up to the chambers thinking that his dad's gonna be there, and finding Shay there, he's just kind of what the fuck, what the fuck is this,
right?
Yeah. And once they have that little struggle, and then he ends up choking her, there's no fight from her at all. Eventually, you think as a whore, she's gonna be trying to grab his hair or something like that, everything just shuts down for her, and she just goes. I don't know about that.
Strangling is one of those things that it seems like you're still gonna fight back. Like to me, it seems like until
Like, unless
you black out.
If he would have got her hands pinned down or something like that, I could see that. But
like you're flat on your back.
That's one of those innate
or grab your
instinctual things that
I'm joking.
If you can't, like, you're fucking flailing. Like that's I think a very inherent thing of humans. Maybe the humans in Westeros are built a little differently.
Weaker necks. They have a roll of dimes for necks.
There was like a small click sound. I wonder if he snapped her neck.
Could have been.
It could be. I mean, that would be a
I was listening.
like
around in here, this part.
It's actually when he like first drops down to the side of the bed. There's
that would be a logical explanation because like all your
spinal cord snap,
everything just shuts down.
And that does make sense.
That does.
Well, no, I did want to step over anybody's, like, if Glenn wasn't done with his notes or anything. I didn't want to jump in.
Hey, Glenn, go to me now.
Luke.
So Benji's note says, way too many thoughts to type out. So my first note was, well, be brief then.
I will be. Because I think me and you have a very similar notes on a couple things.
Which he just couldn't be bothered to write
on way too many things.
All right. First of all, I'm going to skip over the Jamie part because I'll let you go with that one. But Shay grabbing the knife. I absolutely agree because...
Agree about what?
It's bullshit. This is the graying of Tyrion or whitewashing his character because in the book-wise, he just shows up. Oh, he just wraps his hands around the chain. And
There's no dialogue.
No, it is.
Very little.
Very little. But like Oh, you mean in this scene? Like
in the books too.
There's a few more.
Hey,
she's like, we can go, we can do this. In this,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. In this, there's less dialogue. She just jumps up and grabs the knife.
Fewer dialogues.
Yes. But
not as many dialogues.
But she just jumps up and grabs the knife, and he goes into attack mode. It's bullshit because it's a sweeter scene in the book, but it's also a darker one because he's like, fuck you. You know, he grabs the chain and just twists and squeezes and chokes her out and kills her. There's no fight. There's no flailing about. He just holds her down and chokes her. And this makes it seem like it was self-defense to a point, which I disagree with. I like the gray Tyrion, not the whitewashed Tyrion. So I had a problem with that. Tywin scene, fucking phenomenal. We don't get no mention of Tysha.
It just got swapped for Shay.
Yeah.
Just entirely.
Yeah.
We're not going to bring that back up. We're going to make it a Shay focus.
Yeah, which it's bullshit because the biggest line in the books of book 5 is, where do whores go? Where do whores go? Wherever whores go. And I wanted that line and it wasn't in there. Well acted by everybody in the scene, hands down.
Even the crossbow did it.
Even the crossbow.
Nice work, crossbow.
Even the guy,
haven't seen it since Roz got killed, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But
wait, who the fuck's Roz?
Which one is it? But then even the guy bringing the the cargo container down on the ship, those
doing
two
his
guys
job,
hey, did it well.
Good job.
But I did like this ending of how
cheers to shipwrights.
They changed it up, putting Varys on the ship with him instead of Varys just sending him off, and then we don't know where the fuck Varys ends up. This one we get an idea of what actually happens to him.
Yeah.
So that's all.
I mean, Benj took all the notes.
Very, very brief, Ben. Very brief.
I hit the high points and the microphone.
I think the crossbow has bigger acting chops than Kit Harington, so that's a very good point there as well. Glenn, very well said, my friend. I think the crossbow was on point.
Crossbow should be the top bill.
Crossbow Jones.
Game of Thrones starring Crossbow and
Crossbow Fitzsimmons.
And what is Tywin? He calls it the Privy.
Yeah,
the Privy.
The Privy. Privy did a good job too.
Nice job, Privy. You
just sitting there accepting.
That Privy
shit.
doesn't take any shit. Yeah. No, it does take some shit. Just enough though.
But doesn't give
when
any.
Shit gets real.
Shit gets real. Shit rolls downhill.
Although I'll rank that as the second shit taken because
of the episode.
I would say that the Hound's shit is because it was in the woods.
It was off scene.
It was off screen in the woods, like you don't know or wherever.
You can just imagine what that looks like—a dog taking a shit
in the middle of nowhere.
But now, okay.
I think the shit from the Hound was a more solid performance.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Dance was maybe a little runny.
Well, he was comfortable there. His own privy.
He was a little ruddy. Come on.
Runny.
Yeah, and Poisal gave him liquid so he could have a shit to begin with. So that's why he was there. Like.
So,
on his own home turf.
One more note.
Yeah.
LMR, you're right. No shit, because it's been mentioned several times. They don't tell you that they shit themselves when they die. I wanted like a plunk. Just something something just to play that up. Yeah, I find gratuitous. I don't give a fuck. But it would have been funny, and
it's in the fucking chapter where because that's like the main takeaway that Tyrion has is he's like, well, regardless of all the rumors and things that the common people say, Tywin Lannister did not, in fact, shit gold.
Exactly. So
he didn't shit at all.
Yeah, and
that's the show.
What I'm saying is, they and Robert brings it up in the first season of,
they don't tell you how they shit themselves when you kill them.
Yeah, and then
random
later on,
fucking Tarly boy.
Yeah, and later on we hear about the same thing. So
plunk,
Kerplunk,
exactly. So that fine, gratuitous maybe, but it would have fit.
Yeah, for that, I agree. I'm with you.
What type of noise, though? Sorry, Luke. It's just what type of noise are you looking for specifically,
kerplunk.
Ben? Just for a sec. Is it
like
a kerplunk? Not a ploop.
Like a
ploop.
A ploop.
Just a...
It's a serious intellectual question.
I feel like the gaffers need to be, involved on this, right? Or like the sound designers. I mean, come on, Ramin Djawadi, come on.
Don't we have a sound? Oh no, we have a visual designer friend of the show.
Come on, Luke. I apologize for interrupting. I really needed that answer for this whole episode.
I mean,
there's so many.
I don't have any on my soundboard, but maybe next episode I'll bring a kerplunk shit sound, or at least maybe like a fart sound. Watch Rick and Morty for more fart jokes. I think they're better at it than I can have.
Okay, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I don't know why I said that.
I don't know why I said that.
Do check out Rick and Morty. We're not sponsored by them, but I would love to be.
Dan Harmon, if you're listening.
Yeah, or Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
I could think of his first name. But my notes on this, leaving out a ton of Tyrion and Jaime stuff for show consolidation and character whitewashing. We don't bring up anything to do with Tysha, as we talked about. We don't bring up anything to do with, well, did you kill him? Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, I did. That Tyrion goes through. Abby's not going to understand any of this, but until we get to the book review, this is a very, very, very consolidated scene between the two of them.
How many varies?
That was 3, I think. The chat will count. But it's super consolidated, and they do leave on very good terms. I mean, they're still best buddies at this point. Tyrion just sees Jaime as his savior. See you next time.
Right.
Or I won't.
And I think that's probably the bigger threat to the realm is the whitewashers. Everyone thinks the White Walkers are the big.
But the whitewashers out there, they come to do your laundry. and no one wants that.
And then the other threat after the whitewashers come is the white dryers.
That's how in-depth villains are wrote. Are you listening, J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling.
Don't worry about there's the enemy you have now.
The White Walkers and the Whites.
There's going to be the enemy that you have after they come.
That's the White Dryers.
The White Dryers.
Another one that they kind of leave out. Sorry to cut this off, but Lancel. She's been fucking Lancel and
Osmond Kettleblack and Moon Boy for all I know,
which is a recurring chorus in Jaime's head.
That's why Jaime's the best chapters to read.
Yeah,
that's why he's the best.
And so again, it
the two key elements of both of their character plots moving forward are not a part of it.
Yeah.
They're just not. I mean, and I think it kind of undersells their characters a little bit. We'll talk a lot about that when we get to seasons 5 and 6 and 7. Hopefully season 8 make a lot of sense. We'll see.
To go with your point though, Luke, just quick, is like you think about it, I'm trying to remember just like the last episode, like, it was mainly focused at the fight at the wall. But didn't you get that scene before it where we got Tormund talking about him fucking a bear over the Jaime and why couldn't you open it up with that or so? It's like there was so much you could have cut from that, and hitting us with that scene.
Yeah,
you could have given us it,
a
little flashback to him fucking the bear.
At least show it, right?
Or Johnny, maybe not a 6-minute speech on their mentally handicapped cousin smashing a fucking beetle.
Dude, I was typing an Orson Lannister joke in here earlier, and I got distracted, so I didn't actually write it because I believe I believe it was
that was it. That was the
AK made a smash that like button joke, and I was gonna be like, smash it like Orson Lannister was what I was gonna say.
That's what you were gonna say,
but I missed it.
But you didn't.
I had typed it, but didn't hit enter because Johnny has just been so.
That would have been a funny joke. There,
great job.
Wow.
I'm a mouthy prick. I apologize.
But Shay grabbing the knife. Stupid. I don't like it. That's kind of like Han shot first. You just totally changed the character.
Guido shot first. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I won't go more than that. Tywin's poker face is pretty impressive. He's basically always acting unsurprised until he gets shot.
Yeah.
You know, bullshit. He just keeps trying to.
Did you really think I was going to let you die?
But like,
come on. You're my son.
like you're still bullshitting at this point. We know that you're fucking Osmond Kettleblack in your room essentially, and no, like you're full of shit. Like all of the toughness that you've shown has just been a facade. I think. I don't know, and it's complicated. And maybe we'll get into that a little bit on our epilogue. Like what were Tywin's true intentions throughout? Like how kind of all of that.
And this is after the whole trial when it was just all bullshit as well. So Tyrion just has all this just built up bullshit after bullshit, and
he's like, I'm not fucking buying it anymore.
You guys know that I didn't do it.
You knew I was innocent,
but
you still sentenced me to death.
Right.
And now you're trying to say like, oh well, you know, at the end of the day, wasn't actually going to kill you. Like,
at the end of
what
the
do you
day.
want
At the end of the day, they're a day older.
At the end of the day, I'm going to live and you're not going to. That's
Yeah.
what Tyrion makes that decision because fuck you, Tywin. At this point, he's gone through, I think he actually says Tyrion's age in this, which I don't think is book canon. It doesn't align. He says something about 40 something years, but we know just like last season, we know that Cersei was 40 years old.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 years between the twins.
And I think it's
Tyrion.
different. I think Tywin said maybe last season or something that his age actually or something like that.
Oh yeah,
but it was like
67 or 68. Yeah.
But it was
He's only.
I don't know. It was different in the book. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold timeline. Do not look at timelines for the show. Don't.
Yeah.
If you
Didn't
are,
they air
just
the episode on
stress.
Father's Day?
Yeah,
I
they
remember
did.
a whole
They did.
commotion about that. They put that
Yeah.
on Father's Day.
I looked this up. I'm not sure if this is no Father's Day on this one. I think is the very next week. Because I heard there was another stream that.
Well, this was the finale, so
Yes, Father's Day was the very next week.
Gotcha.
This episode ironically aired on Father's Day 2014. Notes.
All right, hang on. I'm just.
Whose note was that?
I love Ben's reaction.
No, if I'm wrong, because I looked at.
You've been Glendogged, bitch.
If he added
This
that,
was on the note, like for the, I guess the Game of Thrones wiki for the.
Sunday, June 15th. Okay, I stand corrected. I apologize. Very well done.
So
No,
why wasn't the episode titled called The Fathers?
The fathers.
The fathers.
The Father's Constitution.
Fodder.
The father.
Like,
that was
how
another
they
joke I was
lined
going to
up
make
was
about
pretty-
Gendry. Gendry was. Robert loved his jokes. Gendry was shot from his eyes.
A lot of shit jokes in that one too.
Yeah.
Sorry. Read It by Stephen King.
Yes.
A lot of fucked up stuff.
Read it.
Glenn, take us away from here.
All right, so that was the last scene, or was it? This is the last scene.
Whoa!
Green box. Glenn, don't forget to point out the green box, homie. Bring us home.
Cheers to last scene.
Cheers, last scene. Green box.
And for Johnny and the chat.
Arya, Bravosi Captain. Arya turns in her Chuck E. Cheese token for a ride. So does anybody really want to start?
Is that what's wrote there?
Yeah, that's what I put.
That's what Benji put in the scene
Cheese.
description. Welcome to Chuck E. Cheese, motherfucker.
I'll take it. I'm the queen of the world of sailing. I'm the queen of the world. I just had that feeling where she's walking to the end of the boat.
Titanic style.
Titanic.
With Titanic and also Simpsons. I'm
Gotcha.
the queen of the world of spelling. I'd love to know what the lyrics they have written over the vocal part of the theme song actually are saying. I don't speak gibberish. That they're wiener, floppy wiener,
Wiener.
But it's actually very well composed. Again, going back to goddamn what I can't never say his name, but the composer. It's a well done song and it's a good fitting.
Ramin Djawadi.
Yes,
Jawadi.
Just go with the J. Drop the
Ramin
drop the
Djawadi.
D.
But it's a well done scene.
As always, drop the D.
And
Drop the D.
anytime the season ends and it's not a Dany scene, I'm happy. And that's an Arya scene, makes me even happier. So I'm like, all right, I like this ending. It would have been fitting to just watch Tyrion sail off, but I do like that they added this part in to close off Arya's story.
Clovis it off.
Close it off.
Close enough. All right, who wants it?
My favorite part of the Floppy Wiener song is the dude on the bottom right in that episode where his eyes kind of cross out of nowhere and he just starts yelling, Wiener, Wiener, completely out of tune. Shout out to the Grammys. But no, for real, it's kind of a real straightforward scene, though, isn't it? It's like as you just walk on the boat, handed the coin, said the quote, and you're kind of like you're under Jaqen's arc from here on out, little one. And at the same time, it is interesting because from season 2 with Jaqen, where you're like, how the fuck, what the fuck? If you're an Arya fan at this point, you're gonna be interested as fuck on wait, she gonna learn how to do all that shit. So it kind of like they've already killed it with the Tywin scene, so it's like, why not give them a little happy, so to speak.
A good send off, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, like, Arya just left the Hound or whatever. And I think she's just like trying to figure out where, like, what she's gonna do next. And I think her first like thought was, hey, let's go north. I guess like to she knows John's at the wall. Like, but then like the guy's like, hey, we're not going there. We're going to Bravos. And he's, oh, wait a second. Like, I got this fucking coin or this Chuck E. Cheese. I got a Chuck E. Cheese. I played the skee ball and I got an extra coin. But
from skee ball.
From skee ball.
Maybe it was one of those like those big wheel games. You spin the wheel. And
No, it's the one where you throw the coin in and you get more out. Like you hit it right to fall off the ledge.
It drops.
It's like the last coin you have. They're
like,
I'm not gonna throw this one in there.
What was that movie Big? Whenever he puts the coin in.
What was the thing's name?
The Zoltan.
Zoltan.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and they gives him like a little thing, like
the genie machine.
Yeah. But
is that big?
Yeah, that's
it is big.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, he's right.
I remember what you were talking about.
But it's just like once he says, we're not going to the fucking north, we're going to Bravos, and she's like, oh shit, in that case, I got this fucking coin, Valamgulis, motherfucker.
What if she forgot it? Imagine the quote. That's a whatever.
Yeah.
What if she forgot the fucking
Oh
quote?
God damn it, I forgot what to say.
Yeah. Oh shit, the coin.
Jack in Petropolis.
Come back when you find out the quote again.
Zach and Morris.
Zach and Morris.
Zach and Morris.
AC Slater.
It remind you. Do you remember Tobey Maguire when he was Spider-Man and he was trying to fucking learn his webbing? That's how I'd see Arya in that situation with the coin.
Go Web Go.
Go Web Go.
With the coin.
It's a second Spider-Man. That Tobey Maguire Spider-Man reference we've had today. Awesome. I like it.
You're going nowhere.
Bonesaw McGraw.
Bonesaw's ready.
Step into a Bonesaw Slim Jim.
Actual name.
Bonesaw McGraw's actual name, Randy Macho Man Savage.
Yeah, I don't know his real name.
Randy
That's
Poffo.
macho motherfucking
He was
man.
a former Cardinals farmhand.
Yeah, that's true. Randy Poffo.
Randy
Poffo,
Poffo.
aka Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes,
He's French.
My wrestling nerd.
He's a
can show up
savage.
on that.
Savage. Zach Wars trash.
I'm just so happy that Arya didn't dance like John Travolta with her hair slicked down when she's trying to be a badass. Like, fuck you, Tobey Maguire.
Got it. Yeah.
I think Luke is up.
Yeah, so they don't actually talk about it, but Benj, I don't know if you have a screenshot of the very beginning of this scene. Oh, no. Okay, go forward.
I mean, that's
Next one. Nope. Next
That's
one.
as close as you're gonna get.
I think it's as close as I'm gonna get. This is fucking salt pans.
Yep.
I can't believe you didn't get a picture of them shoveling the salt. They never talk about it. But it is accurate to the books. Nice job, showrunners. This is in salt pans, and they show a couple shots of a couple buds shoveling salt to put it into barrels and put it onto the ships.
I just glossed over.
And then, like,
nice
if you can see across the river or whatever, is pepper pans.
And there's pepper pans, and I think mustard seed pans is a little further up.
All the spices have their
paprika
own
pans,
pans.
cinnamon pans is a little further up the channel here. No, none of those are true. It's just salt pans.
Oh, damn it.
But if you ever play Mount and Blade Warband, a Clash of Kings, I think, is what the Game of Thrones expansion is called.
Romar and Kel.
Always go to salt pans, because everywhere, if you're gonna play as a merchant, you can sell salt anywhere. it's worth a lot of money.
That's fair.
So I just appreciated them actually bringing the salt into it, even though they didn't make a big deal of it. Yeah. It was kind of an Easter egg kind of thing, and I'm glad they actually included it.
And in fairness, hence I didn't catch it because I wasn't looking. By this point in the episode, I'm doing
Son of bitch. Well, you asked me, should I even put this as the last scene? And I think so. I like this scene a lot.
Well, no. This wasn't what I was asking to put as the last scene. I was asking to put or do we want to combine the Tywin Tyrion?
You asked me.
No,
We're not going to argue on screen.
Yeah, fine.
We'll argue later.
That's fine.
That's what brothers do. Cheers. But I
good
love this.
episode.
I love this scene.
Yeah.
For Arya kind of getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yep.
You know, the one person that she had left in her mind, if she can't get to the wall where Jon is, who possibly could she go to?
Yeah.
Nobody.
No one.
She knows nobody else that she would possibly trust.
No.
So get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Maybe hop high. I mean,
High.
No,
we're going back to the crossroads.
circle back to high.
I was thinking maybe like the Manderleys, like somebody like a
But
northern.
she doesn't know them.
And she does.
Like-
You're right. She doesn't. Like that'd be the only possible.
Sure,
but
that's banking a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do that. She
No.
is done with assuming things.
Exactly.
It's never worked out for her. So get the fuck out and let's take a big gamble here, right? I mean, the one person, and I think Johnny kind of touched on it, the one person left that she knows alive that she can somewhat trust, Jock and Agar. He gave her this coin. If you ever meet a Bravosi, give him this coin.
yeah, a Bravosi captain.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
specifically, but in general,
You'll find
it's
your
it's
way
a Hail
to-
Mary.
Yeah.
And for her, that's all she's got. And
Exactly.
I'm glad it's done well.
Yes.
It's done well.
No, and like I said, I like this ending. It was a happy-ish ending, and it wasn't a weird crowd surfing. So just leaving it there.
All right.
Misa, misa, misa.
Let's move on to episode
was the
title,
weakest. I agree.
Accuracy, The Children.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, there's a big focus on not just the children of the forest, but Tyrion, the child of Tywin, Arya, the child of the Starks. You know, there's a big focus on the children of
I think,
who we thought were the main
I
characters.
think the dragons was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Danny looks at them as children, and that's difficult to do. Obviously, the children of the forest are the kind of surface level thing that it's named for, but and yeah, that's kind of the climax of what we've seen Bran working towards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good finale for Bran,
And we
It's-
skipped over Treebeard altogether. We really didn't.
we
talk
didn't
about
even talk about the three-eyed raven at all, but
There wasn't much to it.
there wasn't much to it. He got there.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing is that what they've been working for all season, they've kind of gotten to that, whatever that is. And
Whatever it
we
is.
lost Jojen doing it. But yeah, I mean, Tyrion, dragons, Arya, the difficulty that Cersei and Jaime are going through with their children, and
Yeah.
they brought that to light.
And their father.
Like with Tywin
Yeah.
directly. I think it's a pretty good...
Yeah, it's
going into
fitting.
it, I was actually a little sour on it, but as we've discussed it, I feel like it's better than I anticipated.
Better than you thought.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought.
Fair enough. All right. Description accuracy, season 4 finale.
Bullshit.
No, it was.
No, they had.
I'll fight you. on
They had
this.
an after the episode thing. You can find that as its own. That's
You've
not
made
the
this
time.
joke 3 times.
I don't know. Make it 3 more or 4 more.
An unexpected arrival north of the wall changes circumstances. Dany faces some harsh realities. Tyrion sees the truth of his situation.
Yeah, I don't know if Dany's realities were that harsh. It's just your dragons are dicks.
Killing children.
Yeah, no, I'm saying your
pretty
dragons are
harsh.
dicks. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
All right.
I would have been more vague and mystique about it. Like, I wouldn't put names first and foremost. Like, this is what happens with Tyrion, because as much as most people love Tyrion, it's like not everybody's crazy about Tyrion. Like, even Tyrion's haters, like, I guess like him a little bit, so he's not hated, you know, in that sense. So I would have been just more vague about it. Like, say something like alliances are broken as the land falls into despair, you know, like, so just kind of throw a few
Leave it
vague
open-ended,
mysterious
vague,
words into it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, don't tell us
Err
like
on the
that.
side of
like.
generality.
Not necessarily being like, hey, Tyrion's doing this. Or,
Tyrion does a thing,
Yeah.
and some people like it, some people might not, yo.
Just sell it, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, sell the motherfucker. Don't just say,
Yeah.
like, you know, Conor McGregor's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. No, you know, the Irish legend who's undefeated in the UFC is coming across against the boxer who never lost ever. Do you know, like,
Yeah.
One
Go a
has
bit
a
on it,
better
you know what I mean?
marketing ploy to it.
yeah.
Undefeated
It's just Tyrion,
boxer
so-
versus...
But there are
Tyrion does
certain
this and
made
Arya
legend,
does
yeah.
that.
there are certain SEO search engine optimizations for having Dany and Tyrion and you know, like in those, basically call out those 2 characters who
Yeah.
are the most searchable characters.
Yeah.
As the true
Yeah.
marketing reason why they call those 2 specifically out in here. Who are the 2 characters that people will give a shit about most? Dany and Tyrion.
And Jon, maybe.
And Jon, but he doesn't do a whole lot here.
Yeah.
He is the unexpected arrival. I don't know. I guess.
Maybe you would put an unexpected arrival changes circumstances for Jon Snow.
for Jon Snow.
you know.
The way Kit Harington fucking acts, you think he doesn't give a fuck about Jon Snow as well.
I want to know who can brood as good as Kit. That's all. Who any
He's
actor
probably brooding because he got the wrong role. He probably applied
any
to be
actor in the
wrong.
world brood on the level of Kit Harington. It's a
maybe
tough one.
Ewan
what's
Rowan.
that Moaning Myrtle or
Ewan
something?
Rowan.
Harry Potter, maybe her.
Ramsey.
He doesn't brew.
Well,
No way. Are you saying
No,
Ramsey?
he doesn't
that
brew.
was a joke because he was the other major candidate
Yes.
for the role. That was
You got me.
that was the only
say it
joke.
Fair.
That was the joke.
That's fair.
I bit
That's-
the bait. I
that's
bit
fair.
the bait.
No,
You
that's
got me.
fair. That's fair.
All right, Glenn.
All right, let's go on to our least favorite things. What was your least favorite thing, Ben?
Changes from the source, as we talked about, like in the final scene with whitewashing of Tyrion and Jaime, just kind of leaving them, keeping them both good guys, quote unquote, without profit. You know, like the whole Tyrion thing, killing Shay in self-defense over killing her because she's a cunt. You know, and Jaime, you know, not telling him about the Taisha thing and all that whole kind of thing. Just the whitewashing of the characters is pretty much my biggest complaint.
Luke?
I agree. I mean, that's really the main thing, the changes from the source. But I'm gonna go ahead and the cheesy skeleton whites. I don't like the look of them. It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
I never did find the name of the movie that I was looking for, but
Damn it.
it's bad. Yeah, I don't like it. And it's different from what we've seen before from the whites.
Sure. All right, Johnny?
It would be the leaving out, as I say, T-shirt, and you say Taisha, which the Y. I would say leaving that out. And I would also say this is completely petty, but I always give the actor shit of Oberyn, and you go back to Narco, me. I know that's blasphemy, but it's like you need to have long hair, me, and then you get a pass. You know what I mean? I didn't like how he did not have long hair. It's petty. I believe season 4 was a stretch. Season 4 was really book 3 stretched a long way. So we got it. You had to stretch it. So, you know what I mean? Storm of Swords is my favorite book of the series. And this season was a lot of a Storm of Swords. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feast for Crows hasn't properly began, if you ask me. So the fact I love that book, I have to say, yeah, me complaints are just of what they left out and the blank scenes that they put in, which is not much. Solid season all around. Solid. Needs work because nothing's perfect, but good season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so probably my least favorite thing was just like a couple, like definitely that scene with Tyrion and Shay, wherever he chokes her out, but then she just like comes lifeless. Now, if he did snap her neck, I could understand that, but it just seemed like she just kind of gave up. And then I guess the other one was like whenever Cersei comes in and Jaime's all like pissed off, but then all of a sudden it just turns on the head when I guess she kisses the hand as you will, and like
It's a metaphor.
It was.
all right,
For
well I'm
sucking his
not
dick.
pissed off anymore.
Kidding.
Let's go.
No. Yeah.
I take my grievance back. Well, how dare I give an
Never
answer what I
mind.
feel?
Yeah.
No, you have every right to dislike. That's if that
Yeah,
was
no,
your least
completely
favorite
fair.
thing. That's
Completely, yeah.
completely valid, Glenn.
Right, I just didn't like he just totally
He
changes.
folds a little
too.
easy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you.
He folded a little too easy.
Because she's playing the sister and lover role. Like, because he stands up for Tyrion in that scene and like stands up pretty stoutly at first, and then it's just like, oh wait, cock. Like that's it kind of short sells Jaime's character.
Never mind about that.
Forget that shit. There's Mongo,
What was
and by
that,
that
just
it's
a brotherly
Cersei's
one?
mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It short sells his defiance and standing up for Tyrion a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like at the other the episode, he releases Tyrion after this. Like we didn't even touch on that. Like he kind of
Which
folds
maybe
here.
maybe he knew. That,
I'll at least get this one.
yeah, he knew that he was going to release him anyway, so I was like, whatever.
You're not changing my mind, but I'll get my rocks off. That's fine.
Take advantage of this situation. So, all right, let's move on to the favorite thing. What was your favorite thing, Luke?
I like some of the scenes that you guys referenced a lot, for sure. But I'm going to call out Bran actually making it to the cave. I'm a big Bran fan. A Raisin Bran. I don't know what the Bran fans.
All the different brands.
What that group is called. Stann-Man is pretty well established. I don't think there's any real Bran fan groups. But I like that Bran has made it there. He's relied on his friends. Jojen knew what the end game was, and yes, maybe he should have done something about it, but at the same time, you can't fight fate is a classic Greek trope. You know, it's classic literature that you're seeing.
Especially for him, because he's not the end game.
And he's not the hero. He knows his place.
Right.
And he never...
He's just got to get Bran to...
His job was to take Bran there, and now Bran's there. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. I like seeing Bran finally getting there. That's it. That's fair.
All right, Johnny?
I would say hashtag Stannerman. I would say the Stannis scene, but I thought it was very short. Like I had to watch that again in slow motion just to see it. So I have to say, from a show perspective, in the books that would be one of them, but from a show perspective, it might be crazy, but it would have been in the 9th episode, the whole fight at the wall, specifically with Alistair Thorne just standing out as a leader, because you hate this dude. Like, you're just a cunt to John, and just how you see him stand out as a leader, you're like, this dude has balls. Just that every scene with him in that episode was just fucking awesome. Stand and fight, even when he's being pulled away like a G. Stand and fight, just yelling it. The actor smashed that for me, and he went like toe to toe with Tormund. Tormund got the better of him, and then when he's flipped down like injured and shit, get him away, pull him away. It was just brilliant, like, and just his whole speech on the wall to it. And then Janos, you're next in line. You know, when he was giving it, as I think Alistair, how they did him in the show, specifically that episode, I was like, that's fucking cool as shit. Even if you hate the cunt, you've showed this dude is a fucking leader in his own fucking right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing was probably the Bree versus the Hound fight.
I think it's hard to argue with. I think that's really the top.
I didn't want to steal that one. If nobody else had put it in there, I was going to put it, but I went with...
Right, and it was just like almost, I think Benji was saying, like more of a real fight instead of like two like heavyweights going at it, and then eventually like both of them being tired at the end, and just kind of just throwing haymakers left and right.
They
and
get
then,
it. They're like, well, swords aren't going to solve this. I gotta fucking start punching at this point. Like,
right, and it was pretty epic, and unfortunately the Hound falls off the cliff, but it was still a good fight.
Yeah.
Ben,
I'm gonna go with the Tywin death. It was a fitting end for a well acted character. They did do it up well. They did cut out a couple key parts from the source material, but how Tyrion handled it and Tywin handled it and everything, how the dialogue was written, as a show watcher only, it works really well.
Done. They do a great job with it.
Yeah, if you didn't know the source material, it's fucking perfectly done. So I come at it snarkily. So I came at it this time. I was like, that was so fucking well done with how Tywin was. Yeah, his cocky, like Luke brought up, his cocky self of, oh, you're not gonna, let's go back to my chambers.
Bullshit.
Until that horde.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
But it was just a beautiful scene. And then also at the very end, I like said before, with Varys jumping on the boat, they rang the bells that quick. They got him down to the ship. Varys is there. The bells ring, and Varys is like, "Oh, what the?" Because he opens the door.
What did you do?
He's like, "What did you do?" And I guess
he calls him my friend too. There, doesn't he? What did you do, my friend?
Yeah,
I think he does, which was a little odd. But
yeah,
anyway.
And so and it kind of goes back to that whole, sadly, my lord, I don't forget anything. That's why Varys is helping him, because he knows he's the right person to run the shit. So, and then Varys gets on the boat, and now they don't mention this in the show, I believe. Oh no, they do. So I won't spoil anything. So never mind. So, but yes, Tywin death with the bells ringing, very well done.
Bells tolling. And then I think as a show, I guess our favorite thing as a show was Shea Stadium is gone for good.
It's been razed to the ground. Should we give a cheers for Shea Stadium being done?
I do it a little bit begrudgingly, just because I hate being that guy. But
she was the worst acted character.
She's terrible. It was bad. The acting was bad. The character changes were bad. I don't like it.
Yeah,
much better in the books for complexity, and I'm okay with cheersing for it. That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we are going to move on to other podcasts. We're going to talk about podcasts that must not be named.
Sure, the podcast that must not be named is a Harry Potter reread, which I know JonnieIndieBoots is just dying to get involved with. He loves Harry Potter. At least he does so to impress his girlfriend, and he should, because Harry Potter is wonderful and it's full of great characters and stories for YA readers. And myself and my sister Melissa, Benji's sister, also go through Harry Potter chapter by chapter, spoiler free for the kids at home, as Glenn coined back in the day. And it's been a lot of fun. We're about to start. We just released book 4.
Yes.
Chapter 1. Chapter 2 comes out this weekend. Check it out. The podcast that must not be named, at Not Named Podcast.
And you can find them all at thepodcastthat.com, including all of our other shows that are current and future ones. And pretty much you can find pretty much all of us on all of them. So
basically.
All right. We're going to move down to our house information. I am Glenn of House Dog. My house words are, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take. My house sigil is a Spuds McKenzie with a Wayne Gretzky jersey on. My house sword is Johnny Utah. My house region is the Vale. House religion, the New Gods. Horse name, horse meat. My animal is Rich the Flying Squirrel. My ancestral home, castle at Beast Mountain. My hometown newspaper is the Moon Door Bee. My famous house ancestor is the Duff. My personal Twitter is at Popsicle Stand. Ben.
I am Sly of House McLean, or Ben. House words, it's dangerous to drink alone. Our house sigil is 3 gold triangles on a field of red and black. Our house sword is Konami because they make blades of steel.
Blades of steel.
House region is the Reach. House religion is we pray to the gods of tits and wine. Our horse name is Peach because we ride her all night long. Our animal is Ares the Phoenix. The ancestral home is Tower of Hera. Watch out for Moldorn. Hometown newspaper is the Daily Sun, and my famous house ancestor is my great uncle John McLean, savior of winter celebrations. You can find me on Twitter at Sly McLean.
Luke.
I am Lucan of House Blackmead. House words are ours is the drink. Stann-Man reference there for you. House sigil, obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background. Our house sword is actually a Valyrian steel axe called the Sweet Sting. We hail from the Riverlands. We might be moving to the Stormlands soon, but we still do supply the Crossroads Inn with all of their mead needs. They've just not been selling much lately. Where we're at in the story, Crossroads Inn,
So
Not
you're,
still there.
you're just
not
making
so-
up a story.
I'm going into the story. We celebrate the old gods,
Don't forget
you
your
know,
home.
the whole catalog. And I ride a horse called Cherry. I have an animal named Paris the Parrot. We hail from Black Cask Keep. Our hometown newspaper is The Drowned Word. Our famous house ancestor is Ashmere Rivers. You will hear more about him very, very soon, actually. And you can find my personal Twitter at Luca Ferocious and basically at No One Drink. You're mostly talking to me, typically. But my final thought, this is a really, really good season.
Really?
Yeah.
This is
Really?
one of the most complete finales.
Yes.
I think that we've had. We've had a lot of very, very good finales.
They could have honestly cut it. Like, if they cut the show here, if the show got canceled, people wouldn't have been royally pissed. Like, people would have been pissed, but it could have been a decent 4-season long show.
This is it's in a very good spot.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, do you have any house names or words? Or
I can.
You were House Lupus last time, I believe.
I can, yeah, but it changes. It changes.
it changes.
Yeah. My house will be a tricolor of green, white, and orange, and in the middle of it there will be 2 dancing leprechauns over the words "stereotypes are real."
Is that Dutch?
It can be Dutch. It depends on what time of the night you talk to me at.
Okay.
Our ancestors are whoever is the best fighter of my dad's family tree, and I don't know his name because he's just too boss. And
You can't know his name.
that's my house words. It's just and yeah, I can't say it. He's too badass.
House words are and yes.
And
Yeah.
don't piss in me pocket and say it's raining. That's going to be my house words. And a humble cheers to Lukey, Glenn. Beautiful reading with the green box. The detail in the announcements was fucking awesome. But no, for real, and Ben as well. I love how Ben says his best jokes off air. It's great because then nobody will see it.
You're not funny on air. Is this point?
Yeah, that's fair.
No, that's not what I said, Ben. That's not what I said.
I hold them I wait for them for Quiplash. I get like 6 a fucking week, and I hold them for
There we go.
Quiplash.
Yeah. What does you and Tywin have in this episode? They both used finished number 2. Swag. No, but one love, Lukey, for having me on. Ben and Glenn as well. All y'all for having me on. Shooting the shit about it. I love talking about Game of Thrones and everything about it, and hearing these different outlooks that I maybe would have never looked into. It's pretty cool, and it's always fun to have a back and forth. And I love how everybody had, like, we all had differential points of views, but there was not one thing where it's like, no, you're wrong, this is a fact, because it's really all opinion based, just like the books now, even to the show. So that's probably one of my favorite things, and it was awesome awesome being on. Salute to the chat also, and cheers for having me.
And we definitely missed out on having Abby, our first time watcher on the wall. Cheers to Abby. Hopefully she's staying safe.
Like I said earlier,
some serious shit.
I guess keep
through.
your well wish.
I guess we're rooting for her. No, we are. Obviously, we have to because most of us are related to her. But she's literally as tough as fucking nails. And if anyone's going to go through a hurricane, I trust her to do so very well.
Yeah.
And so we will hopefully see her next time. We'll keep you posted if that's not going to happen. Thank you to Johnny fucking Indie Boots for joining us. And
Also check out Johnny Indie Boots Gaming for some fucking great gaming content as well.
well, I mean, it's regular gaming content, but it's also really, really good.
It's garbage. It's me complaining about fucking game mechanics because I'm really bad at them.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is hard.
It's G.
So you too can become a Patreon to get access to our epilogue episode coming up next with our wonderful guest. Patreon.com/stayimaginary. For all the ways you can help keep our beer bank full, check out the podcastthat.com/support us.
Do you like how I merged those cells so it didn't say support us anymore?
Portus.
Support us. Because he will read exactly what it says.
No shit.
Who
Nice
put the
save.
question mark on the teleprompter?
Table chart, Patreon, green box,
Green box.
orange box.
Follow us on Twitter at No One Drink. Send us a digital raven, noonedrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And until next time, as always, I don't know, so I'll just drink. As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
Johnny, as always.
Don't piss in my pocket and tell me it's raining.
And as always, stay imaginary.
I love it when Dookie goes into his character perspective. He turns into like a posh twat. It's great.
That's just what naturally happens.
No, we all do it. Like, I'm sure we all have them voices. When I do it, like if I say something cheeky, it's like, and then I'll slap the head off you. You know, that's my voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't change it. Like, it's just, it is what it is. So what is it? Is it a sausage fest today? It's me, Glenn, Ben, and Lukey, yeah?
Yep. And you haven't actually met Glenn, but that's him. He's going to be hosting today for us. So
Salute, Glenn.
hopefully he fucks it all up for us.
That's what I'm here for.
You can't do any more.
Can't do anything.
From Jon Snow to Sam, you can't do any